What is this new thing with StreamYard की ऑडियो अनम्यूट म्यूट कर देते हैं? सॉरी हेलो हेलो वेलकम टू फुटबॉल विद दक्ष. कैसे हो आप लोग? अ सोलो स्ट्रीम आफ्टर सच अ लॉन्ग टाइम. I'm very happy to be with you guys here. Be a little considerate though. I am a little sick. So please, really, just please. ठीक है, इज्जत, थोड़ी इज्जत और थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखना मेरा आज. But how are you guys? So nice to have you back on the channel, yaar. 121 people already in. Love you all so much, man. Stream jaldi like kar do. We'll talk about transfers, something which we all love talking about. And I'll try to extend the stream as long as possible until the sickness starts coming up. I've taken the medicine. Everything is fine. कैसे हो आप लोग? Nice to have you guys here. It's a nice night. First of all, let me start by congratulating my boys, Divyansh, Muktesh, Yash, Chonki, Mohak, on the release of Chaos Club. If you haven't, check out Chaos Club, man. It's a new venture that is started by these five gentlemen. And first video is already out. Show some love, show some support, like karo, subscribe karo. And it's a great venture simply because I think they're bringing in fresh content. They're trying something new. And of course, there will be hiccups. A lot of people are saying something about the audio. But I'm so happy that they're trying something new, man. That takes guts. And bravery should be rewarded with support, and I'd say just go and support them, man, whenever they upload. Yeah, Chaos Club अच्छा था. ऑडियो की बात है, कोई बात नहीं यार. फर्स्ट स्ट्रीम्स में हमेशा इश्यूज होते हैं यार दोस्त. And that's just not related to like big shoots that these guys are doing. I was talking like अगर आप देखो जब जीरो बॉल नॉलेज की फर्स्ट स्ट्रीम हुई थी उसमें आई थिंक वीडियो क्वालिटी का कुछ इशू था. गेम ऑन ने आई थिंक जब एक लाइव स्ट्रीम ट्राई करी थी विद चौंकी एंड यश, उसमें भी ऑडियो इश्यूज हुए थे. जब मैं अपना फ्रॉम स्ट्रीम यार्ड टू ओबीएस कर रहा था उसमें इश्यूज होते हैं. सो दीज आर नॉट न्यू थिंग्स, बट गिव देम द सपोर्ट दैट दे डिजर्व, मैन. ऑलवेज न्यू थिंग्स should be supported like that, man. All right. So we'll talk about transfers. First of all, on the thumbnail is a guy जो इतना दल बदलू है कि मैंने अभी तक I've avoided talking about him simply because of what happened last summer. Martin Zubimendi looked like he's going to go to Liverpool. And then Ornstein के tweets आ गए थे, here we goes आ गए थे Fabrizio Romano के. And then he said no because of reasons from पहाड़ से लेके पता नहीं सोसिएडाड का क्या connection था. And he decided to stay. Had a bad season, which I think personally he has suffered from a lot of loss in confidence, especially जिस तरह से सोसिएडाड का season गया है. And somewhere around January ये murmurs शुरू हो गए थे that Martin Zubimendi is close to joining Arsenal, which was a bit strange to be honest for me कि like January में हम summer की rumors क्या हमने क्या कर दिया है. And then this happened again in March and then in May and now finally I think मेडिकल होने तक की बात आ गई है. ये सिर्फ सैमी मकबेल ने नहीं, फब्रिजियो रोमानो ने भी कहा है, डेविड ऑनस्टीन ने थ्रू आउट द ईयर बोला है कि आर्सेनल आर ऑपरेटिंग एज इफ ज़ुबिमेंडी इज गोइंग टू जॉइन 100%. एंड आज पॉल जॉयस एंड गैरी जेकब्स का भी आ गया है दैट ज़ुबिमेंडी इज बाउंड टू आर्सेनल. पेपर वर्क एंड एवरीथिंग इज डन, मेडिकल इज स्केड्यूल्ड, पैसे उनको दे दिए जाएंगे. रिलीज क्लॉज 51 मिलियन का है जिसको हम किश्तों में भरेंगे बिकॉज दैट इज यूजुअली नाउ हाउ इट वर्क्स. नोबडी पेज इट इन वन गो. And it looks like Zubimendi will be Arsenal's first signing in the summer. Now, Zubimendi, I think, is a great signing for us. Of course, लोग बोलेंगे फिर से DM Daksh bhai. Arteta loves DMs, Daksh bhai. But the reality is, with Jorginho leaving, he is going to Brazil for the final years of his career. We need a new body, and Martin Zubimendi as a signing in his age profile, as a type of player that Arteta really fancies, is a great signing to have in a market like this, जहाँ पे बेंजामिन सेस्को के लिए 80 to 90 मिलियन मांगे जा रहे हैं, हुगो एकिटीके के लिए 100 मिलियन यूरोस मांगे जा रहे हैं. Players, if you get for like 40-50 million, I think is a steal. So I'm very happy with this transfer fees, man, and it's a good thing. I'll show you like a athletic video jaldi se, so you understand why Zubimendi is important. I don't think I can explain it better than JJ Bull, and I really hope that ये वीडियो बिना किसी खास बफरिंग के चले, एंड एथलेटिक मुझ पे कॉपीराइट ना मार दे और 1 करोड़ रुपए ना मांगे मुझसे. So I hope you like this video and you understand why we want Zubimendi. I don't want to go into too much depth, and we'll discuss the transfer after this 50-second video.
If Arsenal need a striker, why are they trying to sign a defensive midfielder? Well, the obvious reason is that they need one, especially with Jorginho leaving. But there's a more tactical reason that Mikel Arteta sees this as a priority, because one of Arsenal's biggest problems in recent seasons has been progressing the ball centrally, and that is partly due to how they build up. Because to help beat the press, a fullback moves inside, and one of Odegaard or Rice often drops out of dangerous areas, which leaves Arsenal short between the lines. And this means the ball often ends up wide early. But that gives the opposition time to block central spaces, and Arsenal run out of ideas. But Zubimendi might change all of it, because he's excellent at receiving under pressure, can escape a press alone, and can break lines with his passing. And that means Rice and Odegaard can stay where they hurt teams, while Zubimendi dictates the game from deep, using his passing range to switch play, release attackers early, and keep others higher. So yes, Arsenal need more goals, but Zubimendi might be the one to unlock them.
Basically, long story short, simple सी बात ये है that Zubimendi is an important piece in getting more goals for Arsenal. अभी के हमारे सिस्टम में क्या होता है, when we have to play Partey, he's okay to receive the ball and turn, but physically he's kind of cooked. To help Partey out, either Declan Rice has to go close to him or open up himself wide areas में, या फिर मार्टिन ओडेगार्ड को ड्रॉप करना पड़ता है. फिर जब तक हम बॉल आगे प्रोग्रेस करते हैं, ऑपोजिशन एक ब्लॉक बना लेती है, लो ब्लॉक में बैठ जाती है, और फिर हमें क्रॉस एंड इंशाल्लाह करना पड़ता है. नाउ इन अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ सिचुएशन रियली वर्क्स आउट फॉर अस. अगर हैवर्ट्स वगैरह जैसे स्ट्राइकर हो इन द बॉक्स, सो यू कैन हेड इट पास्ट द कीपर एंड व्हाटएवर, आप एक क्रॉस एंड इंशाल्लाह स्ट्रैटेजी कर सकते हो, बट that's not a reliable way of scoring goals. So Zubimendi ke aane se, you receive the ball in the first phase, he can receive it really well, he can pass it, and the biggest thing, more than him being like a physically dominant guy like maybe Caicedo or Rice or even Gravenberch for that matter, he's a very smart person yaar. Matlab, he is a passer who will do the nice simple safe pass, but he has a very good mental image of where the game is progressing, and he usually never makes the wrong decision. He also has a very good understanding of where the danger is, and single-handedly lone pivot पे वो defensively and offensively function कर सकता है. So in possession, think of him like sort of Caicedo. He will progress the ball in a way जो safe है, sound है, and it is the most logical, best possible option to move the ball in the right direction. And if we want him to move the ball centrally, जैसे athletic वाली वीडियो में था, I think that works out really well for us, because हम centrally बहुत ही कम create करते हैं. He is basically a younger Jorginho जो हमने खरीद लिया है, which I think is really good. Yes, brother, it's true. All right, now let's see, before we move on to the Rashfords and the Joan Garcias and everything, कि क्या आप लोग कहते हो Zubimendi पे. डर का माहौल है. Thank you so much यार. Athletic videos remind me of Amrabat. Athletic gets it wrong a lot of times. Amrabat, Ibrahima Sanyare, बहुत सारे ऐसे players हैं जो Athletic नहीं कर सकते. I swear if they don't buy anyone else. I will tell you guys one thing, man. I encourage a lot of patience from you guys. देखो, there are some teams who will finish up deals because their seasons are finished, or some other teams' seasons are finished, right? Bundesliga is over, so Wirtz and Frimpong can move. Shabi can already leave. Ekitike की बात हो रही है, he is also from the Bundesliga. Spain में I think season अभी इसी weekend खत्म हुआ है, and you'll have to give a little bit of breathing room. तो Zubimendi जो एक काफी obvious upgrade था over Jorginho was bound to happen. But for other teams, especially in very crucial positions like strikers, I'll encourage a little bit of caution because अभी तो सीजन ही खत्म नहीं हुआ, ट्रांसफर विंडो तो छोड़ दीजिए आप लोग, अभी सीजन खत्म नहीं हुआ, आज कॉन्फ्रेंस लीग फाइनल है, and then there's the Champions League final next week. So technically the season really isn't over. A lot of players are on holidays after a tough season, and agents and all are working. So I'll tell you one thing, man, whatever you see on Twitter is not real time. ऐसा नहीं होता है कि मीटिंग रूम में एजेंट्स से बात करके कोई क्लब निकलता है और सबसे पहले वो एक व्हाट्सएप मैसेज करते हैं किसी जर्नलिस्ट को, जैसे टीजवान मार्टी को या मटेओ मरेटो को या फिर पॉल जॉयस को या गनर ब्लॉक को, whoever it is. These are usually details which come out 2-3 days later. For example, जब रियल मैड्रिड ट्रेंट को खरीदने की बात कर रही थी, apparently the negotiations have been going on for so long. For Wirtz, Liverpool have been negotiating for Wirtz since March. और हमें अब इस समर में सुनाई दे रहा है कि Wirtz can move to Liverpool. और इतने बीच में रूमर्स आ रहे थे, Madrid will go for Wirtz, City will go for Wirtz, Falana will go for Wirtz. But Liverpool have been basically finalizing this since March, bhai. So these are not real-time things. We never really know, things might be agreed for certain players, and अब हमें सुनाई दे रहा है, अभी जैसे suddenly rumor आ गया है कि Arsenal might go for Sane या Spurs might go for Sane. देखते हैं उनका क्या होता है यार, ठीक है. CWC is the major reason why many teams are going after players so early. 100%, 100%. You have been infuriating me with the toxic positivity gimmicks as Pratik. I don't think, first of all, toxic positivity is just this weird term that people have concocted, but I completely understand. And look, if I'm annoying you in that sense, then you really don't have to watch me. I'm sure there are takers for your points of view a lot of times. But me saying just relax and don't get angry at things which are not in your control, if that's toxic positivity, then I guess that's toxic positivity or whatever that even means, man. Why is there hype around Zubimendi? Is he that good? Because whenever I watch him against Barca and Real, he struggles. Also, his age is 26, is not that young too, says I am Sahil. He is very good. Again, he's not the flashy kind of guy that's not going to put in the tackles. He's not going to do those long switches. He is a lighter version of Busquets, like a 50% Busquets sort of kind of guy. Nothing flashy, but just the right options, right? Just the right answers, just the right pass at the right moment. Not only who to pass to, but when to pass, what should be the weight of the pass. He's that sort of a guy. And if you press him, he has that understanding कि कब मुझे turn करना है, कब मुझे protect करना है, कब मुझे foul draw करना है. He's a very intelligent player. And one of the most underrated things in football are intelligent players. For example, why is Salah so successful at this age, right? How can he have a record-breaking season at 30 plus in the Premier League, जो हम कहते हैं इतना demanding and physical है? Because he knows his limitations, he knows his strengths. उसने स्लॉट को सबसे पहले आके कम्युनिकेट किया कि आप मुझे जितना डिफेंस करवाओगे मैं उतना थक जाऊंगा ना, उतनी मेरी डिमिनिश हो जाएगी अटैकिंग आउटपुट, बट कीप मी आगे एंड आई विल स्कोर यू द गोल्स. And he does that. And he does that in a variety of ways. He scores those long range bangers. He will assist really, really well. He'll hold up the ball against strong defenders and everything. And so you need intelligent players in the team a lot. A lot of players do like taking instruction and then working. But some players are just beyond the coaching, right? Some people can coach themselves on the field. And I think Zubimendi is one of those players here. Keep or sell, I would say, if we have the money, we don't really we should not look to sell anyone and just get the reinforcements, because I don't think after last season we can have enough players. ठीक है, I think we need to get out of this mindset कि इस प्लेयर को बुरा लग जाएगा अगर हमें एक और प्लेयर को ले आए. जिसको बुरा लगता है लगने दो दोस्त. हमारे पास इस point of the time in the season, there was a point of time in the season where we played a front line of Trossard, Sterling and Vaneri. ठीक है. And if that is your lineup going into a Premier League game, I don't care even if it's against Ipswich Town, by you cannot have too many forwards. So have as many forwards as possible. If you need to sell to buy, fair enough, then sell. But the reality is, doston, you can never have too many players in this competition, in this league, especially considering jitna pressure hum pe hai is aane wale season mein to win a trophy. We will do everything. First, we'll just discuss the Zubimendi one, man, because I think that is for number one Arsenal, and I think that's huge as well. We'll also do Rashford to Barca. Don't worry, bhai. But if you have anything on Zubimendi, if you're a La Liga fan, अगर आपको Zubimendi के लिए और कुछ बोलना है, I'm always here, दोस्तों. टेम्पो कंट्रोल करने में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है Zubi. सही कह रहे हो नोमेर भाई. One of the biggest problems we've had is tempo control. In the past few seasons, Thomas Partey has been unfit, which meant that Declan Rice has to play a number six. And for as good as Declan Rice is as a number six out of possession, in possession, he leaves a lot to be desired. So as a result, what needs to happen is that Odegaard needs to drop in. And that's just too many players committed to the first phase, right? You'll have your two central defenders. You have a goalkeeper who plays as an auxiliary centre back. You have your two wing backs, जिनमें से एक शायद से invert कर दे, and Odegaard dropping deep. So you're committing essentially 6 to 7 players in build-up. एंड आपके पास अटैक में 3 प्लेयर्स रहते हैं. एक मार्टिनेली जो एक विंग पे चिपका रहता है, एक साका जो दूसरे विंग पे चिपका रहता है. अगर हेसूस है या हैवर्ट्स है, उसको भी ड्रॉप डीप करना पड़ता है. So we really essentially do not have anybody in that number 9 slash जो dangerous central spaces हैं. Zubimendi के आने से काफी ज्यादा हम स्ट्रक्चर को डेंजरस जगह पे रख सकते हैं. राइस कैन रिसीव द बॉल इन मोर डेंजरस पोजीशंस. ओडेगार्ड कैन रिसीव इन डेंजरस पोजीशंस. जो हम शायद से एक अटैकिंग फ्लूइडिटी देखते थे, बिकॉज हमें सिर्फ शाका को यूज करना पड़ता था इन दैट 22-23 सीजन. सिर्फ शाका, जिनचेंको एंड दो सेंटर बैक्स यूज होते थे, बाकी सब लोग आगे भाग जाते थे, राइट? बेन वाइट ओवरलैप कर रहा है, साका अच्छी जगह पे है, ओडेगार्ड ऊपर है. सो ये सारी चीजें हमें आई थिंक थोड़ी सी वापस देखने को मिल जाएगी. Your midfield is sorted, but is Arteta going to sign a striker at this summer? देखो, getting that striker is the most important decision we have to make. It's very obvious we need a striker. Everyone knows we need a striker. It's just about getting the right one. And we'll talk about who we should get as a striker towards the end. ठीक है? Partey का contract extension. Yeah, I think here is what I think the Partey contract extension will be. He will take over that Jorginho role as a कभी कभी सब हमें करना पड़े या फिर जब डेप्थ की जरूरत पड़े. It's also sort of a protection against that situation we were in जब Xhaka चला गया था. We really didn't get somebody like him. So Partey knows the system. He is here. If we can get a performance-based slash appearance-based contract for him for one more year, good for us, man. एक sort of Zubimendi के लिए एक transitional period भी बैठ जाएगा. Because you know our luck with injuries, man. We signed Mikel Merino and in his first training session, he dislocated his shoulder. So keeping Partey there shores up the defense. हमारा midfield अब हो जाएगा Partey, Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, one of Nwaneri या Daumin या दोनों. Sambi भी है, but I think we'll move him on. और कौन बचा हुआ है, right? So that's, I think, 6-7 midfielders हैं of variable quality, a decent amount of depth, a good integration of youth players as well. And I think that's good. I think that's good. Tempo हो गया. Arteta has built a good team and Zubimendi adds so much to it. We have to add some really intelligent technical players here. Rodrigo, all depends, मेरे दोस्त Deed भाई, on what Xabi Alonso and Rodrigo decide. It's not up to us right now, man. I think we will be in for him. But if Xabi says that Rodrigo नहीं है, तो हम मतलब हाथ में पकड़े खड़े नहीं रह सकते. We'll also have to look at other things. Abesti चाहिए. Midfield is really nice and balanced. Our defense is solid. I think we need another depth wala for defense. We need a left back because I think Zinchenko will be sold and Tierney is gone. So सिर्फ Calafiori and Miles दो लेफ्ट बैक्स पे नहीं रिलाई करेंगे. एक और डेप्थ के लिए आई थिंक हम लेफ्ट बैक लेंगे. बट दीज आर लाइक वे डाउन द प्रायोरिटी. आई थिंक एक सलीबा बैकअप चाहिए बिकॉज यू कैन सी इफ सलीबा जब फटीग होता है वो क्या क्या गलतियां करता है. मैड्रिड के अगेंस्ट गलतियां करी थी, प्रेम में गलतियां करने लग गया था, बैड टैकल्स, लेट टैकल्स एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. सो यू नीड अ सलीबा बैकअप. But before anything, a striker, a winger, and a creative player. I think we have 3 priorities before anything. So we'll see how we go about it. Do you think Odegaard will have? Yes, I think Odegaard stays आगे मेरे हिसाब से. Banger of a signing तो 100% भाई. Zubi dubi do indeed. Premier League में tempo players don't really work. I don't know. It depends on what you kind of also want to do. Like, right, Rishi bhai? Like, for example, it depends on the sort of opposition you have. The kind of personnel I think we will play when we play a team like Liverpool or City versus a team or kind of opposition we will play when it comes to a team like, let's say, I don't know, whoever Leeds. Let's say Leeds turn into or a Burnley turn into a defensive low block team. So for that, when you have so much possession, you will need somebody who can recycle, tempo control, and more important than not, keep a dangerous structure alive for you. इट शुड नॉट बी कि चलो ठीक है हम अगर प्रेस कर रहे हैं ओडेगार्ड एंड हैवर्ट्स के साथ तो ठीक है, वो सब ठीक है. बट जब आपके पास पोजेशन आएगी अगेंस्ट अ लो ब्लॉक, यू नीड द गाय हु कैन पिक अप अ बॉल फ्रॉम द लॉन्ग फ्रॉम डीप, या फिर हु कैन ऑल्सो पुश अप आगे जाके. इट्स सॉर्ट ऑफ लाइक अ रॉड्री वाला थिंग. Rodri's role when it comes against low block teams and Rodri's role when it comes to teams who will also attack them like versus a Madrid or something is completely different मेरे हिसाब से. That's what I feel. 2025 Golden Boy ranking revealed. Kubarsi tops the list 95.4. That's great, man. Although I think post Champions League final the list can alter, but abhi ke liye to it's great, man. Thank you so much, Romer bhai. Love you so much, yaar. Arsenal can use Zubi Merino pivot to rest tries. Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is like I said. This is what exactly I'm saying, right? You can play a different team against the big boys, which is a more physical sort of lineup, right? Especially when you have to go toe to toe physically. But if you have to match technically, if you have to exert dominance against teams, if you have to show your superiority against some of the teams जिसके against हम हार गए unexpectedly a draw हो गया, तो उस टीम उन सारे गेम्स के लिए you need a different sort of lineup. Like for example, I really think we should go for somebody like Javi Simmons. Now, when Javi Simmons is there, he can sometimes play with Odegaard and Rice in the six because we need something else. Maybe him, maybe he can replace Odegaard in certain other games. So that's what I feel, that when we go for Zubimendi, Rice, Partey as all our six options, number six जो खेल सकते हैं, Merino also being there, we have a lot of flexibility in terms of what we can expect. राइस को हमें एडवांस्ड 8 खिलाना है फॉर गोल्स, वो हमें देखना है. राइस का काम ऑपोजिशन अटैक्स को भी रोकना है इन अ ट्रांजिशन हैवी टीम, लेट्स से लाइक रियल मैड्रिड और व्हाटएवर, देन वी नीड राइस इन सम अदर रोल. जुबिमेंडी के भी रोल्स मेरे हिसाब से ऐसे ऐसे चेंज होते रहेंगे. He is an upgraded version of Casado. I mean, yeah, I guess. Maybe. I don't watch too much Casado, mere dost. And I think Casado ka sample size is much smaller than compared to Zubimendi, but I'll take your word for it. Ned, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. यार जिसको भी membership मिले नेट को thank you बोल दीजिए. He's a member of the Discord and please join the Discord. We have a very fun prediction league going on, by the way. It's called a transfer predictor. The prediction league for the transfers is you have to make a transfer prediction, but अगर उस ट्रांसफर का रूमर एग्जिस्ट करता है, योर प्रेडिक्शन गेट्स नेगेटेड. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, इट्स वेरी इजी टू मेक आर्सेनल जाएगा जुबिमेंडी, बट सिंस दोस रूमर्स ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्ट, यू कैन नॉट मेक that prediction gets negated. So you have to cook up a completely new transfer which has not been reported right now, which is tough to do, or you have to find a transfer rumor which has not been reported yet. So yeah, it's a fun transfer predictor. Join the Discord and there's always some good conversations going on. Backup 8, yeah, oh, 100% Sam, this is exactly what we need, man. You hit the nail right on the head, bhai. I really like Hugo Ekitike, Isak kind of player. Oh, 100%, man. Even Trossard contract, yeah. Even Trossard contract. Although I think it's not an extension, it's more of a salary upgrade for him, which mere hisab se I don't understand. I don't understand. In football, your salaries should always be reflecting your value to the team, not only now, but also in the future. And I don't see that with Trossard, unfortunately, yeah. देखो, if his salary is just being upgraded without any sort of extensions, I have never seen a case where a player जिसको हम salary देते हैं और वो under perform कर रहा है तो हमें पैसे वापस देता है. So it's a very bizarre move for me, and I don't know why we're doing it, to be honest. No high quality chances, man. We need a high volume 10, which is why I'm saying it depends on the lineup, and we will need another number 8, which is why I really want Javi Simmons. That's what I feel. You're right about the fact that Rice, Zubi, Ode might in itself not be a high chance creation team. It's a very unbalanced sort of midfield. It can work. It's not the best. To make it work, you will need either a left winger who is a high volume shot creator, or with a left back, of course, who is overlapping like that, or you need another number 8. Simple सी बात ये है. So somebody on the left hand side needs to do a lot more, whether it's a winger, which I hope turns out to be somebody like Nico Williams or Jamie Gittins, aisa sort of player, or Rodrigo for that matter. But it looks very unlikely, man. It looks very unlikely. But like I said, Pratik, this isn't like the final piece of the puzzle. It's a piece of the puzzle. And I hope we find the other complementing pieces. If Arsenal wins UCL, they will soon be will London over forever. अच्छा, ठीक है. अभी मुझे ख्याली पुलाव नहीं कमाने हैं, man. Listen, man, we've placed a lot of expectations on this team and this board and the manager. Now it's up to them to deliver it. They keep saying आएगा आएगा आएगा. Show us, man. Show us. That's it. All right. Big ups to creator from India. CFC fan. Bertram, thank you so much for your contribution, man. I really like your display picture. I'm a huge Silicon Valley fan. Thank you so much, man. And best of luck for the Conference League final against Betis. Although, as an Arsenal fan, I hope you lose. Because it's for no other reason except it's going to be funny. But I think you're going to win, man. And best of luck, brother. Nahi, dude, ignore nahi kiya. Just getting through some chats. Okay, I'm going to skip a bit. And TT questioning why so much similar injuries to us. To be fair, I think he is right in his questioning. Whatever he said, Thierry Henry, first of all, you know me, I love Thierry Henry. He's a legend of the game. Um, Listen, dude, what he said, everything was right. You can't fault Henry for asking, why haven't we won? Why haven't we reached finals? How are players getting injured like that? But I really hope, and look, Henry doesn't need validation. He is a very self confident man. But I really hope he sort of thinks about how he phrases things, because now the media is going to use that soundbite. Like Sky Sports are already on it. Okay? Athletic are already on it to put even more pressure on the club. The thing with players like चाहे यूनाइटेड के लेजेंड्स हो, चलो यूनाइटेड के लेजेंड्स तो बहुत ही करते रहते बिकॉज वो फर्गी एरा एंड एवरीथिंग है. बट इफ यू लुक एट लिवरपूल लेजेंड्स, they don't go any, they might call out the ownership, they might call out the club, but it's never on the manager, it's never on the players. Like how Righty is. Righty talks about the ownership, Righty talks about the club. He'll never talk about the players and he'll never talk about the manager. And by the way, Henry is right. He loves Arsenal, which is why he criticizes these players. And I have no problems with his criticisms. I just want him to be smarter with his phrasings. That's it. But that's my only concern. Uske alawa to aur kuch bhi nahi hai. Daksh Uncle is one of those Arsenal fans I have a lot of respect for as a Chelsea fan. Thank you so much, Soham. ESPN article detailing how Arsenal season went about, how were things behind the scenes with transfer resistance, Edu leaving, and overworking players. I'll read that ESPN article. Who is it by? Is it by Rob Dawson? Because that's the only ESPN guy I know and I trust. We need a striker in his prime who is ready to cook like Gyökeres. Now, chat, here is the thing. Let's briefly touch on this striker wala debate before we move to other transfers, and we'll sort of circle back to this as well. Look, first of all, let's be honest, this striker market is cooked. There is no top quality striker. Yes, Gyökeres ke numbers are absolutely insane. It's a huge overvalued market, dosto. No matter how great Gyökeres' season is, it's a 65 million pound striker. If you believe he's worth that, fair enough. But Hugo Ekitike is around 100 million euros for a great season at Frankfurt. A great season at Frankfurt. If you look at a striker like Sesko, that's a 75-80 million. Apparently, it's an 92 million all in package. Matlab, it could be like base 60 plus 15 add-ons plus 15 bonuses, whatever. But overall package ki baat ho rahi hai around 90 million pounds, dude. I'm sorry, he's a 22-year-old kid who's got a good couple of Bundesliga seasons, a great season in Salzburg. He's raw. He can be the best player in the world. But how can you justify spending so much resources in an already PSR heavy world on a guy's potential? Right? So the first of all, the striker market is cooked. You can get players like Liam Delap for 30 million, but ask yourselves honestly if Liam Delap is more of a supporting striker in a title contention team, or he's more of a main striker in a mid-table, lower mid-table ambitions to break into Europe sort of team, which is why I think 30 million makes a lot of sense for him. Retegi is worth 50 million, which I think is still fair. But everyone else is just crazy valued right now, man. And that's the thing. We will get a striker. We will commit the money. The question is, who do you commit money on? With Gyökeres, the numbers are insane. And if we can get goals from Havertz and Merino, I have no doubts we will eventually also get goals from Victor Gyökeres. The problem is, to make the best of Gyökeres, we will have to change a lot. Essentially, we will have to turn into a transition team. हम ये slow cyclical build up cross and inshallah नहीं कर सकते, because heading is not Gyökeres' strength. In fact, strength is not his strength. He is somebody who holds up the ball and runs into space, which I think will be a great thing in terms of UCL. But in the Premier League, especially when you come up against really good high quality defenders like Van Dijk and Konate, in City against Guardiola, Kusanov, Diaz, right? Against Chelsea, be your Tosins, your Chalobas, your Colvilles, whoever they get in the future as well, whatever it is, right? It's going to be high quality defenders, yeah. And if somehow you get Gyökeres and his game does not translate into that, what it's been in Portugal, then you're screwed, bhai. Then you're screwed. You're genuinely screwed because you're not going to recoup a lot of that money. Um, you've already would have changed a lot of the structure to accommodate him, make the best use of his strengths. And the question will always remain, can you coach these deficiencies? Like, for example, one scouting video I watched on Gyökeres, one of the biggest faults of his is he doesn't know how to use his arms. फॉर एग्जाम्पल जब अर्लिंग हालैंड लड़ता है ना बॉल के लिए, शर्ट की खींचनदानी, फोर आर्म गले पे स्पेस बनाने के लिए वो बहुत यूनिक चीजें करता है. ग्योकरेस की बहुत अच्छी चीजें हैं कि वो दोनों फुट से अच्छे शॉट्स मारता है. इट्स अ ग्रेट वॉल्यूम ऑफ स्ट्राइक्स, इट्स पावरफुल एंड एक्यूरेट. These are great things for him. But in terms of strong defenders, he ends up losing the ball a lot. Against a good settled defense, he's great, but sometimes his touches leave a lot to be desired and gives a huge opportunity for defenders to come and take it out. Uska link-up play is average. His heading is one of the worst in terms of top strikers, jo hum kehte hain. Like he scored one headed goal in all his 100 whatever goals he's gotten for Sporting, one headed goal. Is it not? It's not like he cannot deal with England ke defenders because he's already played in the championship with Coventry. He's also won the EFL team of the season that season. He is a good player, but there's a lot of risk. There's also another thing. Okay? If you get somebody like Sesko, he's young, he will take time to adapt to the league. There are no two ways about it. अभी तक अगर आप उसका अगर आप लाइप्जिग में देखोगे, he plays in a two striker system with Openda. Openda is the guy who will be in the box. Sesko is the guy who drops off, links up, passes, whatever. ठीक है? इनफैक्ट सेस्को जितना लंबा है उतना डोमिनेंट नहीं है वो एयर में. या मतलब he can get to the ball, he can win the duels and stuff, but his heading isn't that accurate. His shot powers are absolutely insane though. He is really, really fast and physically he can turn into one of the best strikers in the world. The problem is you don't have time to wait for him to turn into one of the best strikers in the world. So that is, I think, one of the biggest dilemmas जो हमारे पास है in terms of who do we go for. Everyone knows we needs a striker यार. Everyone, सबको पता है हमें striker चाहिए. सब कह रहे हैं कि तुम्हें striker चाहिए. But कौन है वो striker? Isak available नहीं है. Haaland obviously नहीं आएगा. Alvarez way too expensive. And मतलब that will be the dream signing to get as a striker, second striker. But नहीं है हमारे पास वो बंदा. So I think realistically it will only be between three people: Gyökeres, Sesko, Ekitike. Don't think we'll be in for Ekitike, which means it will probably be just these two. It won't be the Visa, it won't be Mbuomo, obviously not Cunha because he's gone to United. There is a third wildcard option in terms of Ollie Watkins कि like you commit lesser money for Ollie Watkins because जो Gyökeres वाले डाउट्स है आपको कि क्या वो लीग पे अडेप्ट कर पाएगा, वो आपको वॉटकिंस के साथ नहीं होंगे. दैट थिंग कि सेस्को इज टू रॉ, वो आपको वॉटकिंस के साथ नहीं होंगे. बट ही इज ओल्डर. On the ball, he's not that great. Off the ball runs amazing. He can find that space to sniff a goal really, really well. But will that mean that you were not ambitious enough to go for arguably who is the best striker in the world right now, Gyökeres, or miss out on a top prospects in Sesko? So ये सारी चीजें. Osimhen मेरे दोस्त, I would have loved Osimhen, but I think he's going to Al Hilal, and I think that's done by. I think Osimhen ain't going to Prem, La Liga, wherever. I think he's going to Saudi. Jonathan David, good player, free में भी आ जाएगा. I think he could be that second option we go for. Ideally, I want Arsenal to sign two strikers, not one. But क्या ही कर सकते हैं. Osimhen, I think, would be really, really good. Osimhen has a variety of shots. Osimhen, मेरे लिए, becomes one of the best options for us to get because the way he scores goals, he's dominant in the air. He has top level experience. he can score in any variety of ways. He's a high touch guy, he's physical, he can collaborate with other attackers. Bhai, he can do everything. He's just expensive, crazily expensive, and crazily difficult to negotiate, as Chelsea found out. You know that for Chelsea, money is never an issue. They always just somehow generate money anyway. But even they could not find a solution with Napoli and Osimhen's agents. That's the reality, man. But this is the time to be ambitious. That's the reality. अगर आपको टाइटल जीतना है, अगर लिवरपूल विर्ट्स, केरकेस, फ्रिम्पोंग एक स्ट्राइकर की तरफ जा रही है, whether it's Ekitike or Alvarez or whoever it might be for Liverpool, we never know, because Liverpool work in silence like that. If Liverpool are strengthening this much, if City will no doubt strengthen, you have to take the gamble for the best in the world, man. And if you believe the best in the world is Gyökeres, go for Gyökeres, man. If you believe the best in the world is Osimhen, go for Osimhen, man. You can't outsmart the market. ये Sesko वाली signing last year होनी चाहिए थी, but नहीं हुई because he signed an extension. We are already lagging behind an entire year. Now you have to make up for it. Rasmus Højlund, I think he's too nice to play for us, man. He's too good. Bundesliga strikers are overpriced, 100%. French strikers are overpriced. Bundesliga strikers are overpriced. You can't find good value anywhere in this market, by the way. Maybe in Italy. But in Italy, you'll have to get players like Vlahovic, who is a high shot creator, but terrible conversion. Matlab, this is like a shorter Havertz. You can also get Retegi, who I think is a really good option to consider for any team looking for a striker. बाकी सारे नहीं हिलने वाले हैं, आपके Lautaros and everyone. Nobody is moving, man. Osimhen is best fit. So Sesko is much better than Gyökeres IMO. I think we can all agree Sesko की ceiling बहुत high है. The problem is क्या आर्सेनल के पास वो टाइम है या नहीं. बिकॉज अगर हम इस टाइम नेक्स्ट ईयर बैठेंगे रहेंगे, बोलेंगे चलो सेस्को को अब 1 साल आ गया, अब हम जीतेंगे, ऐसे नहीं होता है दोस्त, ऐसा नहीं होता है. So somebody needs to hit the ground running, man. That's the reality, dude. That is the reality. Mika Biret, yeah, he's enjoying in Monaco. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. I'm happy for him, dude. Like Balogun did not work out. We made money off him. Mika has worked out. So good on us. Good on them, bhai. Good on them. What bid for Isak you think will not be able to ignore? 140 million pounds, man. 140. He has to be the record. मतलब उसको British record fee होना पड़ेगा, basically. Discord link, I'll post it on the community tab, but you have to be a member for it, brother. Okay, cool. Now let's skip some chats. Let me see if there's any super chats. Ayan has completed membership for 26 months, dosto. So you can see the Discord is good enough that people stick around for 26 months. Thank you so much, Ayan, for 26 months. Love you so much, brother. What do you think about Nico Paz? Javi Simmons से सस्ते में मिलेगा and a great option. Reply कर दो भैया. I like Nico Paz. He's got a very good season in the Serie A under his belt. But he is sasta than Javi Simmons, but I don't think it's time to penny pinch, man. I don't think right now is the time to see kaun sasta, kaun better, kaun bang for the buck. Right now it's time to go and get the best in the world, bhai. I think Javi Simmons से better interior player कोई नहीं मिलेगा अभी हमें. 6'4" Stuttgart guy, बहुत है यार. Are you meaning Voltemad? Do you mean, I don't know, his Stiller is 6'4"? Stash, I don't know if you're talking about him. Can we play Leao as left wing and Nelly as center forward? There's a lot of things we can do, man. There's a lot of things we can do. Samu is a greater prospect. Samu is even more raw than Sesko, dude. Samu is even more raw. I also think so. I think Gyökeres is a player that will fit so well in United, so well in Liverpool, and maybe even so well in Chelsea. R and City are the worst outfit for a player like Gyökeres है मेरे हिसाब से. एंड मुझे यही डर है कि अगर हमने सेस्को ले लिया और ग्योकरेस चला गया, आई डोंट नो, लेट्स से ग्योकरेस गोज टू लिवरपूल एंड ही स्टार्ट्स बैंगिंग गोल्स, एवरीवन ग्योकरेस ले लेना चाहिए था हमें. बट डिफरेंट प्लेयर्स प्ले इन अ डिफरेंट वे इन डिफरेंट सिस्टम्स, मैन. एंड सो ये वाली चीज है, मैन. दैट्स द ओनली थिंग आई सक. The only thing I'm worried about that will suck like that. All right. Enough 40 minutes Arsenal transfers. Let's try and get to some other rumors. So the biggest story probably today is Joan Garcia. Joan Garcia ke apparently are now only two options, which is Barcelona and Newcastle United. I'm honestly a little bit surprised that these are the two options. I know that Newcastle has met Joan Garcia ki entourage. I've heard that he is interested as well. But I thought Newcastle se aage there will be one Man United because they need a top keeper, and of course they can offer you better wages. And there's Manchester United ka aura. But then there's also, I thought Chelsea would need one. I also thought since Aston Villa से एमी मार्टिनेज जा रहा है, उनाई एमरी खुद स्पेनिश है, प्रीमियर लीग में विला भी यूरोपा लीग खेलेगी, बट देयर एम्बिशंस आर चैंपियंस लीग, एंड ऑफ कोर्स अस बिकॉज वीव डन, एंड सिटी तो थी, बट सिटी हैव नाउ अपेरेंटली पुल्ड आउट. बार्सिलोना का पहले एक दिन पहले आया था कि नहीं होगा जोवन गार्सिया, बट नाउ इट लुक्स लाइक agents and everything are also like कि हाँ हाँ बारसा चलो. There's only one doubt in that Barcelona transfer, is that his personal connection to Espanyol, and not him per se, but also the fact that his family also stays in Espanyol, and you know how people can get super personal about in football, right? So I think that is a very strange but a unique consideration from him कि Espanyol to Barca क्या होगा. So I won't be surprised if he chooses Newcastle. Now, here is what I feel. I think I think he's going to do a sort of a Thibaut Courtois, which is what I mean by that is when Thibaut was in Atleti Madrid, he went to Chelsea for a couple of years and then he went to Real Madrid. Of course, Atleti fans still hate him, but there was a nice sort of a break gap between him going from Atleti to Real Madrid. And I think right now, Newcastle are in the Champions League. Newcastle are also building a really special project under Eddie Howe. Um, they will probably get, if they get Joan Garcia can stay there for 2, 3, 4 years and then eventually move to Catalonia again. So maybe he can do something like that. I don't know. Or he just says, F it, man, main ja raha hu Barcelona. There are pros and cons to both places. In Barcelona, you also will eventually definitely be the number one player. You will get your जिसको हम कहते हैं PR for being Spain's number one keeper. There is already an established Spanish core, and they genuinely need a goalkeeper. Barcelona genuinely need a goalkeeper. I'm not even talking about the social media movement for Ter Stegen out. But in general, like Chesney is on his last leg. Iñaki Peña is obviously not good enough, and Ter Stegen ka bhi, I think he's lost all goodwill in Barca fans and maybe even the coaches. So yeah, he can obviously go to Barcelona. Release clause should not be an issue. Salary also do not think should be an issue. Agents, if themselves are convinced, so I'm guessing they've also talked to the agents as well. The con for joining Barcelona right now is that this will be the list of keepers that Barcelona have. Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, Chesney, who has just renewed, Iñaki Peña, and Joan Garcia. That's 4 keepers. Of course, you will say that Mats will leave and Iñaki will leave, and then eventually Ter Stegen will also leave. But leave to where? That is the problem. There is no market right now that I have heard that somebody is interested in Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. There is no market I have heard that somebody is interested in Iñaki Peña. Neither have I heard that both of them want to leave. Neither have I heard that Flick wants to get rid of it. I've just heard Flick wants a new goalkeeper. So you will have 4 goalkeepers, which I think is an unwise allocation of resources. Anyway, if you do buy Joan Garcia, I think you will have to sell at least one of them first. Okay? Second, if the plan is for Barca to loan him out, I don't think he wants that. At least मैंने ये सुना नहीं है कि he's open to the idea of being loaned to a team. पहले आ रहे थे कि Valencia जा सकता है and he's fine with it. But since then एक Relevo की report आई थी that he doesn't. He wants to be number 1. Wherever he is, he wants to be number 1. ठीक है? And I think that happens at Newcastle United. Nick Pope, for all his good stuff, man, all over the years, he's been injury prone to the point where Newcastle have to play players like Dubravka and Gillespie in goal. जो नहीं चलेगा. Dubravka is also now gone. Pope के बाद कोई अच्छा कीपर उनके पास है नहीं, which means Joan Garcia becomes number 1. In fact, he'll unseat Pope, because the last Newcastle campaign in the Champions League, a lot of it was also hampered by the fact that Nick Pope ने अच्छे saves करे थे, but he also missed a lot of saves. And Joan Garcia is great with his feet. He's great with his saves. He can be outright the Premier League and the Champions League goalkeeper for Newcastle United immediately. ठीक है? Newcastle have a lot of money to offer. रिलीज क्लॉज सबके लिए इक्वल है, सो रिलीज क्लॉज पे हम बात नहीं करेंगे. इट्स ऑल अबाउट द सैलरी दे कैन ऑफर राइट नाउ. डोंट हैव PSR issues. It's also about what they can offer to the agent. And if Newcastle somehow tell him, I'm not saying they have, but I'm saying if they somehow tell him ki stay with us for 3-4 years, just go wherever you want. Um, I think that's a fair deal for them as well. Newcastle will eventually make money. They will have no release clause. Whoever wants Joan Garcia next will have to shell out a good, cool 50-55 million. That's basically about it, man. Pena wants to leave. Mats needs a number one spot, which Barca ain't giving, and Tech has renewed. All tells me Mats is leaving. Leaving to where is the question, brother? That's the whole thing. Who is actually paying you for Mark Andre Ter Stegen? That is my only concern when it comes to this. You will have four keepers. Even if I say that Pena leaves, Mats and Chesney will be your two keepers. मेरे हिसाब से Chesney has probably no problem being a bench role. It'll probably then be a straight fight between Ter Stegen and Joan Garcia. But again, I think that's an unwise allocation of resources from Barcelona, considering you are also linked with Rashford. ठीक है? Considering you will also probably need some other players, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Saudi? What do you mean Saudi? You think Mats will go to Saudi? Again, I haven't personally heard any Saudi links, and Saudi seems like the most convenient option to throw in when your player is not doing well. What will happen to Onana? Saudi. What will happen to Casemiro? Saudi. What will happen to Zinchenko? Saudi. Sometimes it's nice. Sometimes it might actually happen. I personally haven't seen, and trust me, I see all the rumors because I have to make content on these rumors. So I haven't seen Saudi to Mats wala thing. Sorloth could be a good signing. You mean for Arsenal? Again, could be good, man, but I'd rather than just go for Ollie Watkins then. Is Edison leaving Man City? Looks like it. And this one is going to definitely happen to Saudi. Bayern, again, they just have... Who's the new keeper, chat? Urbik. Urbik is there. So they're not going to get them, man. Yeah. People are just thinking that Saudi is just hungry for all of this stuff. I don't think so. Now we badly need a striker and a left winger, says Insane. 100%, dude. That should be our next order of priority. But thank you so much for the contribution. Aman, thank you so much for joining the membership. Appreciate a lot, brother. I'll post the Discord link. Join the Discord. You'll enjoy it a lot, man. Urbig is very, very good, man. 100%. Out of topic, but do you think Romero will go to Atletico? There was a statement that this week it will happen. All depends on two things. If Ange leaves, he's 100% leaving. If Ange doesn't leave and Levy thinks he can make money, then I think he'll leave. Edison doesn't want to go to Saudi yet. See, I'm telling you guys, man. Sesquad Barca is perfect for both. He is. I agree he is. You can develop in बहुत अच्छे से. What do you think about Karl Heinz? Should he be the second choice next season? आज Gunner Blog जो Arsenal का correspondent for the Athletic है, उसने Q&A किया था. And when he was asked about Karl Heinz, he said that Karl Heinz has gone to a season in loan where he was number one all season. He enjoyed it. Arsenal think it was good for him. He believes that he will not come back to be number two. He wants to be number one. And we obviously know he's not as good as Raya, so we'll probably sell him on. देखो, Arsenal का अगर बैकअप कीपर की बात करनी है ना, we just have to have a backup keeper who can compete with Raya, one, and two, is just there till Tommy Setford is ready. Setford is going to be a decent keeper, जो हमें ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. But Setford is not ready yet. He will be though. Arsenal have a good slew of nice youth goalkeepers. We just have to let them mature a little bit. Barcola, don't think it's going to happen, man. I'd love for it to happen. Don't think it's going to happen. Can we sign Ousmane Diomande as centre back? All depends on if Sporting are even looking to shop him. We need, dekho, one of our requirements is a backup centre back because Saliba cannot play for so many minutes again. We've already seen what happens to Gabriel, and the guy is built like a machine. Even he can break down. Now imagine what can happen to Saliba. Tomiyasu not being there till the end of the year is another blow because he cannot back up Saliba. So we need to get a backup centre back, which is why I think we were also in for Dean Howson, right? He's eventually chosen Madrid, but report hua tha that Arsenal also approached him, but he chose Madrid. So we need a backup centre back. It's very obvious we're looking for a backup centre back. I don't know who's going to be the backup centre back. It's going to be a cheap option. Somebody we can develop. Diomande would be good, but let's see kya hota usme. Should Max Dauman be promoted? He will be, dude. He will be, but we also have to keep in mind the guy is 15 years old, man. When he plays next season, he'll be 16. We obviously trust him a lot, but please don't think he's going to play more than 500 minutes next season. Yeah, the guy is 16 years old, dude. He's a great player. He's a young boy. He's a teenager. He's Parthiv Patel when he made his debut. Who should be winning the Golden Boy Award? If you win the Champions League, it should be Due, मेरे हिसाब से तो. Nathan Collins bring. Nathan Collins, you know. We also need Saka backup, which is why I think, Rick, we are linked to Sane. अभी Sane के साथ links आए हैं, although I think he's going to extend with Bayern Munich. But if somehow we sign Sane for a free, I think he'll be the Saka backup. 29-year-old, much better than Sterling, probably can contribute a little bit more than him. Yeah, I guess that's going to be it, man. Kubarsi right now is leading, which is why I said if PSG win the Champions League, I think it should be Due. If they don't, then I think it'll be Kubarsi. If Lunin leaves Madrid, then they'll go for Joan Garcia. I think it's too late in the race, man, Tushar. Too late in the race. Cherki to Man City. Let's talk about Cherki to Man City. So Cherki obviously is Man City's choice after they missed out on Florian Wirtz. Cherki is a good player. We all know Cherki is a great player, yeah. He's a baller's ball. Just imagine this is like Hatem Ben Arfa finally coming back to the Premier League types player. He's a really good technician. He's silky on the ball, creates a lot of crazy amounts of chances. He's just lazy. Like he won't run, he won't sprint. Just give him the ball, let him do his magic sort of player. Pep will have to adjust to him. He will have to adjust to Pep. You know for a fact that if you don't adjust to Pep's football, you're going to hold bench, which is probably what's happened to Vitteris and Kushinov, and until the last couple of weeks, even Nico Gonzalez. You need time to learn Pep's system, especially in a dominant area like attacking midfielder or center RCM or 8, whatever you want to call it, man. So he's going to take time, but I think this is a pretty good signing that City have made. They need a creator. They need somebody to take the creative. Dekho, imagine in a situation where City don't get Wirtz and they don't get Cherki. Who is the creative player left in Manchester City? Marmoush can probably generate some chances on transitions. That's cool. Foden, if he discovers his best form, can probably link up with Haaland. But apart from these two players, there's literally nobody else. And you're placing a lot of emphasis on the fact that you have only one or two major fulcrums of creativity, right? If Foden doesn't get back to his best, that only leaves Marmoush. Because Haaland ain't creative. Rodri is good, but how much more will you ask him to do? He's responsible for build-up. He's responsible for breaking attacks. He's responsible for progression. You can't just also ask him also be our final ball specialist, bhai. So let the guy rest. Doku, Savio have a lot of growing to do in that context. Bob, how he comes back, what state he comes back, how long will it take, all depends. So I feel getting Cherki is really, really, really important. Silva apparently is leaving, dost. Getting Cherki is really, really, really important, मेरे हिसाब से यार, for Manchester City. नहीं dude, अभी बात नहीं हुई. We'll talk about it. Again, Foden, मैंने वही कहा, Bob and Foden का यही है कि Foden किस if he comes back, if he's fine mentally, then it's fine. Ekeveri, I think we all saw the flash of talent he has. It's just about how much can you rely on him over a season, because your body will also take time to get used to it. Like what happened to Nwaneri. In flashes, Nwaneri is great, but if you give him a strong run of form, he gets injured. Even Nwaneri got injured. So Ekeveri, Bob, Foden, plausible alternatives, not reliable alternatives. So I would say, when in the absence of somebody like KDB, have as many points of failures as possible. So say Cherki takes time to get used to the system. Bob and Foden can probably take it up. If let's say Foden goes on a cliff again, or Bob still needs time to get back to his physical best, fair enough. There is probably Ekeveri and Cherki to pick up the load. That's what I'm saying, right? So that's exactly what I mean. When it's to replace creativity, have as many points of failures as possible. Again, yeah, look, Unk Nation, Kovacic, Bernardo, they will work. But again, throughout a 38 game season, I don't think it's reliable, man. Especially definitely not in the Champions League, dude. Nico Riley is a very interesting option, but it all depends on what they do at left back. If City were getting Kirkes, I would say okay, that means the plans are there to move Nico to left centre mid. But let's see, Tino Livramento aane wala hai. क्या करते हैं, will City change in their complete structure and everything, वो वाली बात है. हाँ dude, Zubimendi starts over Partey. Tijani and Morgan Gibbs White. So here's the thing with that City lineup, like people are posting that City lineup with Cherki, Tijani, Rodri in the midfield, आगे attack पे Haaland, Marmoush and Savio or Foden, whatever your preference is. That team on the ball, when they have the ball, magic, absolute magic, Pep Guardiola perfection. ठीक है? When that team doesn't have the ball, it's gonna get ripped apart like a wet tissue, दोस्तों. Zero resistance in defense. It will again be Rodri Mazduri, everyone else just helter skelter. Literally, मैं मजाक भी नहीं कर रहा. Cherki, Tijani is great on the ball. Tijani off the ball, ठीक है? Unless, of course, Pep coaches it into him. But if you watch his game off the ball, Tijani isn't anything special. On the ball, Tijani is a magician. Gundogan max. But off the ball, that midfield is going to get run through like anything. If you face a Liverpool with that midfield, oh my God. Okay? So I think that is a small team lineup in the sense that you will face low blocks. So you can use Tijani or Morgan or Rodri or Ekeveri or Cherki with your front three, with that defense, and absolutely try and break them, smash them, do whatever you want. My personal belief is off the ball, especially in big games, that midfield is going to get a little bit pitai wala scene. Ait Nouri to City is a good option as well. I agree. Getting fullbacks after a lifetime, that's where assists and width come from. Looking forward to it. Yeah, let's see what Pep does, because there's a lot of changes happening at City, chat. City में coaching staff replace हो रहा है. City में कुछ अंक्स are getting out. City में कुछ defenders will slowly be phased out. You will see a lot more of Kushanov, I feel. You will also see a lot more of Vitteris, I feel, who was, by the way, Arsenal's first choice backup for Saliba. But City obviously got to him in a transfer window before us. Otherwise, I'm so sure we would have gone for Vitteris this summer. Okay, so you will see a lot more transitions in City. Coaching staff is gone. Apparently, Bernardo is also on the verge of leaving. So we'll see. What about Gibbs White? I like Gibbs White. I think he is the legs of Kovacic and the sort of shot creation banger range wala guy from like KDV. He ain't the creative force, but he's the running and the finishing force. I think he'll be really well. J David is underrated. He can play as a winger, can play 9. Good finishing and runs. I want Barca to sign him so bad rather than Rashford fraud. We'll get to Rashford, bhai. We'll get to Rashford. Let's just talk about Vitor Roque to Arsenal. Let him. He's still at Betis, right, chat? How has he been for Betis? Yeah, I've heard of Antony. I've heard about Isco. I haven't heard about Vitor Roque, man. In the UCL final, I ain't supporting anybody, man. As long as we don't win, who wins? Who cares? No, brother. I think the clause was still the same, man. As far as I remember. What happened to Nico Gonzalez? Nothing happened. He scored a goal in the last game, I think. Oh, he's back to Brazil, huh? Oh, he's at Palmeiras. Mast bhai. He is shipped to. Man, Chad, do you remember Vitor Roque की क्या presentation थी? Graphically generated tigers at the Camp Nou. उसको सिटी विटी का टूर कराया था. एल्टी ग्रे विल कराया था. मैंने उस पे वीडियो बना दी थी भाई. उस पे एक sort of this thing for Lucho's daughter. Fair enough. Julian Draxler to Arsenal, bhai. Not first get me Gonzalo Higuain, then Draxler आएगा. El Tigre, stop it, the nightmares. Oh my God, man. क्या सीन था यार विटर ओके का. He was supposed to be, I think he was supposed to be the answer to Endrick. It's quite funny how neither has really kicked on, right? Like Endrick scored a couple of bangers and stuff, but he's usually been relegated to garbage time minutes. And I think Endrick का भी अगर आप देखोगे, he's been more in the news for his wife. It's his wife now, right? Oh, it's crazy, man. Bobby Charlton quotes, and he's like a PR trained merchant, huh? Yeah. Exactly. Deco fraud. Imagine being a replacement of Endrick after that presentation. Like I said, man, Endrick ain't done anything special either, man. Um, Black, white, Nkunku to Arsenal. Nkunku ain't there, man. European Trophy watch along today. If I feel up to it, I won't do the watch along, brother. I'm just gonna watch the game though. And if somehow Betis wins, I'm gonna show up to the next Baba and Lols in a Betis jersey, man. I already told Baba. You need to get Mbomo ASAP. Sell Bruno, but get Mbomo. You do need Mbomo. I agree with that. I honestly think Rishi Bhai Mbomo might work for you, but he'll definitely work at Newcastle. Newcastle is the perfect Mbomo team मेरे हिसाब से. I think उसके links आ ही रहे थे आज. Ekitike to Chelsea के क्या thoughts है? Let me just start this. Are we all done with the City? Anything else about City chat? Lord Antony. Endrick will come good. Need a few loan spells where he can get some decent minutes. I don't know if that works like that for him, yeah. Because if you think about Endrick, first of all, it's a World Cup year, so he wants to be in the Brazilian team. And look who is his manager, by the way. Who's gonna be the Brazil manager? It's gonna be Don Carlo. So I think he needs to say bye bye to his Brazilian dreams for now. He needs to get regular minutes. You're right about that. Where will you loan him is the biggest question, dude. Um, Madrid की भी बात करेंगे. Madrid की भी बात करेंगे. There's plenty to do. Because there was a clause in his contract City up to 5 million to launch if he had 10 appearances and he only made 9 this season to avoid that. Man, if that's the case, yaar, I think Lawns and City will never deal again because I think City ने उनका कोई player भी चुरा लिया था ना. I don't know. कोई player भी चुरा लिया था उन्होंने. Um, yeah. It's not that, yaar, Sam. I think द वे द मार्केट वर्क्स राइट नाउ इज लाइक अब देखो 22-23 साल के लॉन्डे के लिए लोग 50-60-70 मिलियन मांग लेते हैं तो क्लब्स क्या कर रहे हैं वो टैलेंट होल्ड कर रहे हैं जबकि पास उनके पास जगह भी नहीं है आई गिव यू एन एग्जांपल सिंस वी टॉकिंग अबाउट चेल्सी नाउ एनीवे राइट now Chelsea is going to go for Ekitike but look at the strikers they still have on the books they have Nicholas Jackson they have Nkunku sort of a striker whatever ठीक है they have Mark Gu who they bought from Barcelona, who priced away from Barcelona, by the way, saying we'll give you game time. His dreams are probably going to die. They've just offered a contract to Emega at Strasbourg, saying to 2026, which is next year, that you will come and play for Chelsea. So that's another young striker coming in. They have this player they bought clearly like a first striker signing, David Datro Fofana, still on the books, by the way. He's gone on to loan multiple times. Nothing has happened. They still have Armando Broja on the books, and they're looking at their 7th striker right now in Hugo Ekitike. All of these strikers, by the way, none of them are over the age of 24, except maybe Nkunku. Nkunku ke alawa, there is nobody else who's over the age of 24, 25. And they're talking about getting the 7th striker on the books. So it's not that players aren't given time to develop. It's just that you just don't want to miss out on the next big talent. You start hoarding all these talents all the time. But Ekitike for Chelsea, I think is a good signing, man. If you just look at the merits of the signing, mere hisab se, perfect signing. He is a strong character. He shoots a lot. He's a really good link up play sort of guy. Has all the characteristics to turn into the next Isak. Chelsea can also develop him. Chelsea has a young core. Eventually, 2-3 साल में अगर Ekitike works out into that Isak level, they've struck gold, bhai. They've struck gold. But the thing is this. In that Chelsea system, only one striker can play. So you'll have to make the choice between Jackson, who will be great in some moments. You will have to make the choice between a Mega, who's going to come in next year, who's also a really good pace and power wala striker. Okay? You have to get Ekitike. You're already paying a lot of money for him. So Ekitike is going to be there. What happens to Gu then? वो देखना पड़ेगा. There's a lot of things Chelsea needs to sort out in terms of what his books are for. Mark Gu is better than Jackson, but he ain't getting time. Well, to be fair, Gu was injured a lot this season, yaar. Delap की भी बात हो रही है, but Gu was injured a lot this season. That is why he didn't play. He did play in the Conference League. Thing is, next season Chelsea ain't gonna be in the Conference League. They're gonna be in the Champions League. ठीक है? Which means you're not going to have one squad for the league phase and another squad for the knockout phase. Ekitike was a league of flop. I agree. Environment matters a lot. Environment matters a lot. Yes, brother. Divine Mukasa के बारे में सुना है मैं. I'm a big fan of Divine Mukasa. And now that City are hiring their developmental academy से या जो developmental squad है उनका coach as Pep's assistant now, I think you'll see a lot more integration from the academy. Cunha to United पे भी बात करते हैं दोस्त. I really like it Parthe. We'll get to that right now. Ekitike is a PSG reject, and if he was good, then Lucho would have kept him. I think he was let go before Lucho, right? Or not? See, I think PSG may be same cheese thi. He was brought in from the Bundesliga only, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or was he from some other French club? He is French, to be honest. He joined PSG, but there was also Randall, there was also Gonzalo, there's also Mbappe. There's a bunch of strikers, man, at PSG at that point of time. So neither did he get the time, neither did he get the environment. The focus was in the main man. Frankfurt, compared to that, was really good. Ekitike works best with a forward like Marmoush, who can run the channels, play, and everything. So if Chelsea do get Ekitike, they need that goal scoring winger, which is why I think Chelsea should also go for Jamie Gittins. Chelsea should also go for Nico Williams. Um, Ekitike is one part of the puzzle. You need a goal scoring winger on the left. It's not going to be Sancho, definitely not going to be Neto, can't be Noni. I think it'll be a new winger again. So, is it the best use of resources? But it's Chelsea, so you never really know. He played well. All right. Girassi, I think, would be really good for Chelsea. Girassi is really good for Chelsea. Ekitike sounds like tick, 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 tick. Fair enough, fair enough. I think this is also a really good signing, man. I think Liverpool is the perfect club for him. Goal scoring wingers हैं आपके पास in Salah, Diaz, Gakpo works really well. You are also building a new squad. You can see the age profiles of the players you're getting in Wirtz, in Kerkez, in Frimpong. If you get Ekitike as well, बहुत बढ़िया भाई. बहुत बढ़िया. You can actually, Liverpool is one of the few teams that can actually wait for him to develop into a top striker. All will depend, I think, on Darwin Nunes की sale. कहाँ जाएगा, कितने में जाएगा. But I think even beyond Ekitike, I think I won't be surprised if Liverpool's primary target is Julian Alvarez. I think they will try to sell Darwin Nunes to Atletico. Darwin Nunes plus cash for Julian Alvarez. I think that's what Liverpool's play is going to be. अगले 4-5 साल तक की विंडो इसी विंडो में ये लोग खत्म कर देंगे. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. ओडेगार्ड की मार्केट नहीं है दोस्त. That's the problem. We can sell Odegaard, but to who is the question? We value him very highly. We got him for 30 million. We'll have to find some market for him, man. I don't think Simeone will be willing to let go of Alvarez at all. True, man. But if Atleti makes some sort of profit and get Nunes as well, I don't know, dude. Rashford already followed half of Barca. चलो बात ही करते हैं इस पे. Sancho, I think sell भाई. Sancho को बेचना पड़ेगा. No way we can sell our cap. All right, we'll try and get to Mitoma and all. Let's talk about Barca because they're obviously one of the biggest teams in the transfers. हमने Joan Garcia की बात कर ली. I've told you the pros and cons and why I think Newcastle isn't as bad an option for him, although it's an open race मेरे हिसाब से. But the next big option is Marcus Rashford. Benefits of getting Marcus Rashford. First of all, he's at the peak. Age-wise, he's at the peak. Very experienced. Played Champions League, played high level English international, Raya sub. Everyone knows the shebang and everything. The best option for him joining Barcelona is this. You can get him on a loan plus option or a loan plus obligation. The wages are too high for Manchester United. They want those wages off the books. They'll probably make you pay 80 to 100% of those wages. You get Champions League. It's a system that will favor a player like Marcus Rashford, which is attack. I've always liked him. If you have been around in the football community for a while, I had this mini debate with Muktesh on Baba's channel. So you can tell me I really like Rashford. The only question marks about Rashford is his mentality. I think Flick ka system is such that it can absorb one attacker not running back as much. I think if you have a system where you have the midfield basically doing Mazduri with Gavi and the Pedri and Casado or Bernal, whoever it is playing in the middle. You have Balde doing up and down. You have Kunde being one of them. You have Inigo. You have Kubarsi, Araujo. All of those guys doing the Mazduri. And maybe one or two players being. He still runs, by the way. He doesn't run that well, but he runs आगे पीछे. Villa में उतना मैंने देख लिया था. But also, I think the biggest question mark on Rashford to Barcelona, he does this, which is great. But the problem is this mentality. What do I mean by that? There was this interview, and I reference this interview a lot of times when talking about Marcus Rashford, that there was some United coach before an important game. They were practicing penalty shootouts, and he didn't name the player, but we all can guess who the player was. Um, that the coach told the player that if we are in a penalty shootout, I want you to score the winning penalty, and his response was, I don't want so much pressure. Let me play my game, which sounds innocuous, but he is not somebody, at least from what we've heard in the media, not somebody who takes up responsibility. He's a good fellow, does all the charity work and everything. That's fine. His mentality is a big question because the pressure at Barcelona is insane. Not that he's not used to pressure at Manchester United, but history has sort of shown us when there's a lot of pile on Marcus Rashford, he tends to hide away a little bit. Okay? And fans turn on you like this. Fans will turn on you like this if you don't deliver. Okay? You can turn them around in your favor really easily as well, but they can turn against you really like this as well. Joao Cancelo, who I don't think was the most terrible signing for Barcelona, fans turned on him like this. Okay? Danny Olmo, who I don't think has had the worst seasons at Barcelona, fans are not in favor of him. So you have to be at the top of your game when it comes to a top club like Barcelona. Mentally and आपको physically effort दिखाना पड़ेगा. सिर्फ आप headless chicken की तरह भी नहीं भाग सकते. You have to show output. The other concern, which is a bit of an off-field concern for me, is the alcoholism allegations that are there on Marcus Rashford. He parties a lot. He's crashed his car twice. There are allegations of him being an alcoholic. What the club does for that, I don't know. But that is not a. For all you might meme Lewandowski off when it comes to कि TikTok पे नाचता अपनी बीवी के साथ, that's the worst thing he does. He's a professional. You've seen Rafinha, how professional he is. Seen most of the Barca players like that. And so that's what I'm saying. Rashford is a great signing for that left wing spot at Barcelona. In terms of output, at his best, he can absolutely smash 30-35 goals. Easy. At his best, he can. ये जो flick उसकी मार देगा. He's had so many different coaches at Manchester United, from Fergie, ठीक है, Van Gaal. He loves Van Gaal, by the way. Fergie, Van Gaal, Jose. Who's that Austrian guy? Forgot his name. Austrian coach कौन था इनका यार? Ralph Ragnick, Tenhag, Amorim. Brothers, that's 6 coaches. And I can agree that maybe 5 of them or 4 of them don't have the disciplinarian mindset of Mr. Hansi Flick. But come on, man. Who's that Austrian fellow? Hitler. But yeah. So you need to see what he brings and what is his thing. How will Rodrigo work for Arsenal without an overlapping fullback? See, yeah, you're 100% right. If we get Zubimendi, we do need a fullback that overlaps a lot more, man. That's something we need to change in our game model, Pratik. Good observation. He's very good for depth as well. Maybe, dude, but I'm telling you one thing, man. If you're signing Rashford for depth, it might be 40 million on the transfer fees. The guy is not on small wages, man. That's what I feel personally. If he does these things, he will not have any friends in the dressing room. Look, there are a lot of people, like, for example, there are people who can get elevated by the surroundings around him, right? Uh, if he is in a dressing room full of professionals showing ki dekho ye hai wo hai, like I remember this quote from Varane that he said that when I moved from the French league to Real Madrid and we won the Champions League and I saw nobody was celebrating, I was like, what the hell? um, I slowly started getting used to it because for me it was a huge thing, but for these guys it was a normal thing. And then when he moved to United, he said we won the Carabao Cup or something. They won, and we were celebrating it like the Champions League, which was a very strange thing to me. Or was that Casemiro talking about Porto, Madrid, and United? Somebody was doing that Madrid United comparison and also the previous club comparison as well. So maybe in a dressing room where there are professionals, where the standards are different, where the thresholds are different, where the environment and culture is very different, maybe he'll also adjust. Look, environment can completely change a player. You think about Scott McTominay from 12 to 18 months ago, and you think of Scott McTominay now, completely different player. It's a different environment. He doesn't have that United boy pressure. He feels he can express himself so well. He's won the Serie A player of the season or whatever, MVP. He's smoking cigarettes in a nightclub. He's dancing with old uncle aunties. He's the talk of the town, man. And that can also happen with Marcus Rashford. So you just don't know. You just don't know. These things, environments can matter a lot. And yes, good point. Not about the Antony thing. La Liga is a different game compared to the Premier League. It's a more technical league, but you get more time compared to the Premier League to execute actions, I feel. Um, the only other tactical problem I will have with that Marcus Rashford transfer is that Rashford is sort of useless against low blocks. He'll run to the byline, he'll try and pick a cross, it'll usually be a useless cross. Also, if him and Balde start occupying the same zones, I don't know what happens. So we'll see. Maybe Rashford can play as a number 9. I think that's his worst position. I think he's more of a left winger. Um, and how he modifies or how Flicks makes use of him, वो देखना पड़ेगा. If Barca are full running, gunning, कि हम 5 goal, 7 goal मार देंगे, he's thriving, bhai. He's thriving for sure. He's thriving for sure. Overall, not a bad signing. There are some question marks on this signing, but it's good value for money. He's an experienced guy. You get a lot. And if it works out, I think you've pulled off a masterclass, dude. It's just there are a lot of reasons for it not to work out as well. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest, man. Will all depend on Flick. Will all depend on Flick. Um, Alvarez कैसा रहेगा दक्ष bro for Barca? Perfect रहेगा dude, but you'll have to offer Atleti something except because they'll not take less than 120 for Alvarez. Perfect age है, injury record इतना flawless है. Alvarez ने कितने गेम्स खेले हैं यार? ला लीगा में खेला है, चैंपियंस लीग में खेला है, कोपा अमेरिका में खेला हुआ है, अर्जेंटीना के साथ हमेशा इंटरनेशनली खेलने लग जाता है. He's not broken down even once. God forbid nothing happens to him, bhai. But you'll have to offer him crazy amount of money for Alvarez, man. Who was the last English player to play for Barcelona? Don't think he'll join. Was it Lineker, chat? Lineker के बाद कोई खेला है बारसा के लिए इंग्लिशमैन? I think it's Lineker only, right? Which phase is Arteta in right now? I don't know. I think phase 5 was the trophy thing. So I think we're still in phase 4. When we win the trophy, it'll be phase 5, man. For Arsenal, Ollie Watkins and Sesko नहीं कर सकते हैं क्या? कर सकते हैं, dude. But मेरे को लगता है कि Havertz will be one of the 9s. It's just going to be an auxiliary centre forward, man. Which is why I think it'll be Sesko. बेच मारो मार्कस रैशफोर्ड 40 मिलियन मिलेंगे मेरे हिसाब से मेरे दोस्त. Why are we not talking about Rashford to Saudi? It seems possible, Amal. Because, no. I think the fact that he's following Barca, the fact that there's agent meetings at Barca, I think it'll happen to that. Stiller to Madrid मैंने निको शीरा की सुनी थी, उसके अलावा तो और किसी ने रिपोर्ट करा नहीं है. But I think it'll be a good one, man. If Stiller goes to Madrid, then काफ़ी सारे I think Madrid के midfielders को सोचना पड़ेगा. Look, here is my thing with Madrid के midfielders, all right? If you get Angelo Stiller, you have to contend with the fact that you still have Camavinga, you have Chouameni, you have Ceballos, you have Fede, you have Jude, you will have Nico Paz, and you will have Angelo Stiller. Am I missing someone? That's 7 midfielders. Sorry, that's 7 midfielders. And I think जूड एंड फेडे तो रहेंगे. ठीक है, जूड एंड फेडे तो रहेंगे. अगर स्टिलर आ जाता तो स्टिलर भी रहेगा. स्टिलर के साथ चलो हर एक पोजीशन पे एक बैकअप हो जाएगा. 2 लोग को मेरे हिसाब से छोड़ना पड़ेगा. आर्दा तो ऑफ कोर्स आर्दा भूल गया. 8 लोग है बेसिकली. ब्रहीम भी है एसेंशियली जो एक मिडफील्ड खेल सकता है बट उसको विंग पे डाल देते हैं. बट दैट्स 8 और 9 सॉर्ट ऑफ अटैकिंग मिड सारे पोजीशंस हैं. 2 लोगों को तो जाना पड़ेगा. चलो इस साल भी नहीं जाते, नेक्स्ट ईयर तो जाना पड़ेगा. 8-9 लोग हैं. वर्ल्ड कप ईयर आ रहा है, खेलना सबको है. अगर स्टिलर ले लिया, देखो जूड एंड फेडे तो रहेंगे. जूड एंड फेडे विल स्टे. तीसरा बंदा स्टिलर. साथ में कहता चलो चूहा भी रख लिया तुम लोगों ने, क्योंकि वो सेंटर बैक भी खेल सकते कभी कभी. बट चलो चूहा भी रख लिया. आर्दा, पता नहीं आर्दा रहता नहीं. सेबायोस कहीं नहीं जाएगा. मेरे को तो नहीं लगता सेबायोस की मार्केट है. 100%, 100%. All I'm saying is somebody will have to leave to make space for him. 100%. So वो देखना पड़ेगा. 2-3 लोग जाएंगे दोस्तों, क्योंकि 9 लोग 8 लोग को सपोर्ट नहीं कर सकते. Either Paz is coming back or we're signing Stiller, and if Stiller comes, then Ceballos leaves. I don't know to where, unless like he's going to like Betis or something, then fair enough. ठीक है, then it makes sense. He's going to go back to his बचपन का club and stuff. Fair enough दोस्तों. But otherwise, somebody will have to leave, man. Shabi rotation game. I don't doubt for a second that his rotation game is amazing. You still can't rotate 8 or 9 midfielders, man, in a 3-man midfield, जहां पे 2 spaces pretty much done है. अगर जूड फिट है, ऑल्दो उसकी अभी सर्जरी हुई है, तो ठीक है, अभी बीच में कोई खेलेगा. बट इफ जूड इज फिट एंड इफ फेडे इज फिट, दीज टू हैव टू प्ले. आपको भी पता है, मुझे भी पता है. देयर इज नो चांस दैट शाबी इज गोना रोटेट आउट जूड और फेडे unless it's a super important game, unless it's like a faltu wali game, right? So it's either going to be Ceballos leaving to Betis, which I think can happen. 1 or 2 more will leave, man. That's what I feel. Cherki का player profile explain कर दो. The closest comparison I can make is Hatem Ben Arfa. He is okay. There are a lot of players who from number 8 create a lot of chances. ठीक है? You have your Pedris, Odegaards, Brunos and stuff, KDBs, whatever. In terms of chance creation, statistically, I'm not saying ability-wise, statistically, if there were 3 players, जिस मैंने एक चार्ट देखा था जिसमें alien categories में आते हैं. Pedri's in like 99 percentile, Bruno's in like 95 percentile, stuff like that. There were 3 players who were in that alien category. One was Messi, one was Kevin De Bruyne, and the third one was Cherki. So he is a guy who likes the ball to feet. He slows the game down. It's like, if you watch anime, Kuruko में he is Akashi. Akashi था? Emperor Rai वाला कौन था बंदा? जो भी था, वो लाल बाल वाला बंदा. So he is that sort of guy who will slow the game down, but he'll create out of nowhere. He's not going to track back. He's not the most athletic. He's not the most physical. He's not the most ladaku. But he'll create. He'll create out of nowhere. समझ नहीं आया. Okay. He's just a player who's skillful on the ball. ठीक है? He's very smooth and silky on the ball. He slows the game down. He's not like bang 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 run करेगा. ठीक है? पौजा जिसको कहते हैं, पौजा बहुत है उसमें. ठीक है? And he'll put in the right ball at the right time. He's that kind of guy. So the skill of Hatem Ben Arfa, the playmaking of Kevin De Bruyne-ish, a young Kevin De Bruyne-ish. Hazard was still a running, cunning kind of guy. But this guy is slow. He is sort of like Frankie. Yeah. A chota, even less athletic, sust sa lagne wala, but very skillful Frankie. Yeah. Iniesta types. Yeah. He's very, very talented. His just problem is his attitude is absolute crap apparently, man. Yeah. Good comparison. Good comparison. No. Santi was at least really, really good in short spaces, man. All right. Some other couple of super chats came in, I think. All right, let's talk about. We'll get to Parthib's super chat. Season is very, very long. Madrid will manage. It's not about whether you can manage the number of players. It's a question of how much flexibility does it. See, I'll tell you one thing, dost. You might be getting a lot of players for free. You're paying them a lot of money because they came for free. Okay? So I'm not doubting your finances. I'm not doubting the player management. I just think it's unrealistic in when you have to submit 25 player squad to give 9 of them, which is more than one third of them to be midfielders, considering you need to give around 2 to 3 goalkeepers, considering you have 5 attackers in themselves, right? You will hold on to Rodrigo, Vinicius, Mbappe, there's also Endrick, right? So that's like 4 attackers over there. You are getting an entirely new defense pretty much, with Trent coming in and Hausen being there. um, आपका कुबार से कह रहा हूँ, आपका असेंसियो है, आपका जोन मार्टिनेज इज कमिंग बैक, देयर इज रूडिगर, देयर इज मेंडिडी, देयर इज फ्रैन, देयर इज Carreras. So that's another 8 players, right? So I mean, yeah, you can still do it. I just don't think it's kind of wise. You will still need to make money somehow. That's what I feel, man. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm right. We'll just see how Madrid does it, man. You're right. Season is long, dude. It's just a question of how much, what the size of the squad that Xabi wants to work with. That's it, man. All right, let's talk about uh, Cunha. Cunha to Man United, I think, is a smart signing. It's a perfect blend of a player who wants to take the next natural step, a team that has to shorten its squad size and change the quality of the players, वर्सेटाइल अटैकर. अगर आपको 62.5 मिलियन देने पड़ रहे 3 installments में भी, getting a player who can play pretty much 3 positions really, really well, who is Premier League proven, who is a Brazilian international, who has played in athletic systems like Atletico Madrid for a while, is a great, great signing मेरे हिसाब से. I think he can be that left attacking mid. He can rotate or take Mount's spot, depending on what Amorim feels like. Don't think he's gonna be the number 9. If he's the sole number 9, fair enough, he's gonna be one of those interchanging number 9s. Um, which means somebody else will have to take on the goal scoring thing. He's got great ball striking. He's usually very fit. Uh, I think there's a lot more positives than mere hisab se negatives when it comes to Cunha. When it comes to negatives, he's got poor attitude issues. Locker room में फिर भी धक्कड़ धक्कड़ करता रहता है. And I think if United's entire purpose of revamping the squad is to get rid of possible problematic elements who just think of themselves way too much, I think Cunha is probably not the first person I would have gone for. But maybe Amorim can assuage him because of Portuguese bhai bhai types, right? Um, yeah, apart from that, I think attitude is probably the only one, man. See, in isolation, Garnacho is not a bad player. He is a player who thinks of himself like he believes he is Ronaldo capable. That self confidence is very important in a player. But when it spills out now, you start getting into this, you start believing in your own hype too much. So you start getting surrounded, or you surround yourselves with yes men. You tell yourself ki like nahi nahi main hi theek hu, ye sab wo sab hai. And you then have situations like you have with Garnacho now, right? Same with to an extent Sancho. Um, with Cunha, you can see it's great amount of self confidence कि वो number 10 jersey ले रहा है. It's great that a player backs himself that much. You want somebody like that because it shows that he can carry the weight of the jersey. You just have to be cautious. He just doesn't start believing in his hype too much. That's the thing. He is playing for Manchester United. That's something you should always remember, is what I'm saying. Okay? Yeah, I think like he is Brazilian, but Portuguese ही बोली जाती है, तो उस type में I think हो जाएगा. And I think his origin is actually Portuguese, not Brazilian. Little bit costly, brother. I think this is the market we live in, man. Strikers are overpriced, forwards are overpriced. If Joao Pedro can be demanded for around 75-80 million, I think we're all cooked, man. Trust me, dude, we are all cooked. There are very few strikers who should go for that high an amount, like Harry Kane, like a prime Lewandowski, a prime Suarez. ऐसे sort of players मेरे हिसाब से जाने चाहिए इस prices के लिए, इन prices के लिए. We're in the end game, man. Like 50 million around 5 years ago got you Aubameyang, who was at that time one of the best strikers in the world. Now 50 million gets you. Who is the 50 million striker, chat? 30 million का Liam Delap है, who's a championship slash relegation team का striker. That's 30 million. You double that, maybe you'll get Retegi if you're really, really lucky, man. But 50 million is like 30-year-old striker आएगा जो 2-3 साल देगा इन खाता में, like Watkins maybe types. That's what you're gonna get, dude. Young strikers, peak age strikers for 50 million, impossible. So I think 62.5 is a fair deal, man. Very smart of United to try and pay it in 5 installments. But I think that would be like absolutely robbing Wolves, which is like what, 13 million per year, bhai. Crazy. Wages bhi, I think he's going to start on a base wage of 120k and it'll go up to like apparently 200. So, ठीक है यार, I mean, if he's hitting those bonuses, then something must be going right, I guess. Yeah, he's a good striker, man. Apparently, they say he's going to be the next best Bundesliga striker. So we'll see. He'll be great, man. But unfortunately, he ain't coming, man. Cesc or Gyökeres, the golden question, dude. We've done an entire section on why I feel the pros and cons of both. Yeah, brother, we need too many. Like I said, at one point in this season, we had a front line of Trossard, Sterling, and Nwaneri. No substitutions on the bench. This was it. This was our attack in a couple of games this season. If you want to avoid that, please get as much depth as possible, brother. As much depth as possible. If he leaves, where do you see him go? Liverpool or City, man. That's the post bonus, man. Post bonus. Do you only reply to super chat? Not really, dude. But I do tend to speak my own thing, and then just since there are 700 people almost there. By the way, stream like kar dijiye if you're a nice person, like the stream. Else your next transfer target is gonna go to your rival club. Stream like kar dijiye. अच्छा लगेगा मुझे भी. I'm a bit sick, so please give me some bit of support. Ferran Torres, what happened to Ferran Torres? I like Ferran Torres. It's just you will sell Ferran Torres for a crazy amount of money. Joan Garcia to Arsenal, we could have had him last year, but now he's too good to be number 2. Mateta, he is a bull. Will work. Will work. But I would say don't expect too much. He's great. He's probably going to... How old is Mateta actually? Mateta age. If he's over 27, I don't think you should go for him. Mateta age. He's 27 years old. Exact 27 years old. Actually, he turns 28 next month. Good. Go for him. We'll give you nice 3-4 years, man. Better than signing Odion Igalo. I can tell you that much. Do you agree Raya is one of the best keepers in the world at the moment? He has been brilliant. Yes. I think he is one of the most complete keepers in the world. If Allison, Edison, Thibaut come in the A+ category of keepers, I think Raya is a very strong A-. Bhai, Chaos Club dekha? Yes, brother. I congratulated them the first thing on the stream. Really good concept. We needed fresh concepts. It's good. Mbomo will work for United, will work better for Newcastle City, man. What about Luis Diaz to Barca? आज ही यार सारे Barca journalists कह रहे हैं it looks like a complicated deal. And no wonder, man, if you can get Rashford for a loan to 40 million ka deal, why would you go for 60-70 million for Luis Diaz? Look, man, Liverpool are masters at selling, ठीक है? Flecken, by the way, is moving from Brentford. Where is Flecken going, chat? अभी तो आई थी आज news. Flecken कहाँ जा रहा है? Leverkusen. Flecken is going to Leverkusen to Mr. Tenhag. Yeah. So Flecken is going to Leverkusen, which means Brentford needs a striker. Now, if they get Common Kelleher, they're going to pay 30 million easy. Which means Liverpool would have sold 75 million worth of talent to Brentford. And trust me, apart from maybe Kelleher, none of that talent is worth the remaining 45 million. But that's what Liverpool does, dude. They sell really, really, really well. Daksh bhai, Man United lost to ASEAN All-Stars. I saw, dude. I'll just say, just don't take it seriously, man. The first of all, the concept of a post-season friendly is an insane concept to me. You have to do a lot of marketing. You should see the players, dude. They're so exhausted. वो उधर गर्मी में बैठ के लोगों की शर्टें वर्टें साइन कर रहे हैं. That's just okay, fair. And then they're playing in scorching heat against, and you should see the highlights on the game, dude. None of them was interested. आधे अधूरे टचेस कर रहे हैं. थोड़ी सी बोइंग हुई थी बिकॉज लोग थोड़े से प्लेयर्स थोड़े से सुस्त से लग रहे थे. The ASEAN All-Stars have a player called Sergio Aguero. Not even joking. Look for it. The one of the players who came on as a substitute, his name is Sergio Aguero. There is a player called Abdul Koulibaly who just started his professional career on 1st Jan 2025. So 5 months of his professional career. And yeah, man, doing it for the money is basically it, man. That's basically it. Uh, that's what they're doing. Oh, Sergio Aguero started. My bad to the goat, Sergio Aguero, man. Where do I think Liao will go? Home, bhai. He's gonna go home. I don't know, dude. Liao is genuinely a really game-breaking sort of signing to make. I think Arsenal should be all over it. It's too expensive. Way too expensive, man. Way too expensive. Talk about Madrid signings. We've briefly spoke about the fact you're gonna get a nice new backline. Um, Trent, Joan Martinez should come back from his ACL. Asensio, Rudiger, Hausen, Mendy, Fran, Carreras. That's a solid backline, dude. And you have a overflow of midfielders. Some you might have to sell anyway, especially if you're getting Angelo Stiller. You have a great attack. It's only a question of what system Jabi prefers and who's he going to play and how is he going to play. And we'll have to wait, man. We'll have to wait to see what Jabi gets and how he plays. Cherki to Man City, bhai. Congrats, bhai, agar ho gaya to. What about Mitoma for the left wing for a backup in Barca? What do you think Jonathan David will fit into Barca? I think Jonathan David will fit into Barca's system as a nice utility player, man. Like, do you guys remember how Luke De Jong just came on and sometimes scored? I think in that sort of utility, he can be really good. But also in like cup games, man, he's going to be really important, yeah. देखो बारसा में यूटिलिटी प्लेयर्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. यू सीन somehow sometimes just utility players pop up and do something incredible, like how Eric Garcia is just performing right now at Barcelona, right? By the way, बारसा में एक legend वापस आ रहा है. आप लोगों को पता है? A legend is returning to Barcelona's team after a year away. Very excited to see how he does. Do you know? हाँ, PSV वाला Luke De Jong. Ferran नहीं. Ferran is not the legend we're talking about, dude. Yes! Mr. Oriol Romeo is coming up, man. Busquets, bald Busquets, they called him in his first season. Oriol Romeo is coming back, chat. Frankie who? Pedri who? Make space for the bald Busquets, man. It's going to be insane. Yes, brother. Rodrigo Mora is going to be huge. What a great player, man. Listen, there's a lot of talent in the world of football that clubs should gamble on. Franco Mastantuono is there. Agume is there. Akluish is there. Ben Seguir is there. Asane Diao tha. Where is Asane Diao? Is it at Betis or is it at Como? पता नहीं. मोरा आप लोगों ने बोला. रिचर्ड रियोस बहुत है. मलिक फोफाना. बहुत सारे प्लेयर्स हैं. कोमो में ना साने डिया. या दस भर के टैलेंट में है यार. स्ट्रासबर्ग में इतना ज़्यादा टैलेंट है. एमेगा इज अ गुड फॉरवर्ड. Andre Santos is going to come back. There's bunch of crazy good talent all over the world, man. Coaches इतने अच्छे हैं. By the way, Simone Inzaghi might be going to Al Hilal, man. And बात हो रही है कि Palladino has left Fiorentina. रोमा को नया मैनेजर चाहिए. नापोली को नया मैनेजर चाहिए. यूवे को नया मैनेजर चाहिए. देखते हैं मोटा कहाँ जाता है. सारी कहाँ जाता है. Palladino कहाँ जाता है. It's crazy, dude. Can Barca compete for next season? Why not, dude? Why not? Barca just needs to improve a little bit defensively, and they just need to add a bit more height. I think that's one of Barca's most biggest weaknesses is that height. Height. They get outjumped constantly, man. Final देखेंगे भाई, देखेंगे final. Who would take Murillo? I think they'll hold on to Murillo till the Conference League, दोस्त. Conference League तो एक ट्रॉफी तो जीत के बेचेंगे इन लोगों को. Morta Atlanta जा. Gasperini is also leaving. Yeah, that's crazy. सोचो Gian Piero Gasperini is leaving, man. Visa for Brentford, 15 plus without penalties. I think he should go to Spurs, to be honest, man. Visa. My prediction for the Club World Cup, it's gonna be a great tournament. Baki prediction depends on the signings, dude. Is this really the substandard season of PL? I personally don't think so, man. I personally don't think so. I think if near half the league is playing in Europe, it's not a bad season, dude. It's not a bad season for any stretch of the imagination, man. We have Europa League and Conference League winners um, managing mid-table, upper mid-table clubs. Managers like Glasner, managers like Iraola, managers like Marco Silva, um, एक point पे Lopetegui, no matter how ass he was for West Ham, he's still there. He was also managing as a Europa League winner, right? Unai Emery, Pep, Arteta, Slot. Oh my God, such a great manager. So we have some really, 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 really good managers, man. PL is boring, not gonna lie. I don't think so, dude. If teams had a lot at stake till the last week, I'm not saying every team had a lot of stakes, but a lot of teams had huge amounts of stakes going into the last game week of the Premier League. It was a bad season for the top six big games. Almost all games were dead. I think that's usually what happens, man. Like there's very little difference in the quality of the. I mean, look, even Ruben Amorim, for all you might criticize him, he's a good manager, man. Really good manager. Vitor Pereira is managing Wolves. He's such a good Portuguese manager. So look at Thomas Frank, such a great story, man. Should deserves to go to any top club, to be honest. Thomas Frank for Brentford. It's just quality all over the pitch, दोस्तों. There are very few teams with bad managers, मेरे हिसाब से. Not boring in terms of stakes or competition, boring in terms of quality of the PL games. You won't see too much flair in the Premier League. I think from the big games and the big teams, maybe not. But I think Liverpool were plenty flair. I think Brighton were plenty flair. Um, Chelsea, I think in the beginning of the season was very flary. Yeah, I think there are some flair games as well. It's just, see, here is my thing. Your points on entertainment, I disagree because I have tried watching some mid-table La Liga games who have their own flavor. I will admit they have their own flavor. But I personally feel, maybe it's my own bias, but I personally feel even if it's a random Monday night and Brentford versus Brighton is coming on, there is something happening in that game. I can watch any team play any team in the Premier League. That's what I personally feel. Maybe I am wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm giving a bold prediction. Xabi Alonso will be the next Pep Guardiola manager of football. That's a good prediction. I don't think it's too bold. I think we all agree that Xabi is a great manager, man. It's not easy to break the Bayern monopoly with the squad, although it took him 2 years, but it's obviously a great manager. That's how you break that monopoly, man. What does Bayern need? A reset. Uh, Bayern get some of the targets they want. They don't get all of the targets. They were looking for Desiree Doué. He didn't join. So they let that go. They didn't really get a proper winger. Now they're looking at Mitoma for that matter, who will be a good winger, but I don't think is Bayern coded. Bayern should go for other options as well. They wanted somebody like Stiller. The problem is that Palinia is still there and Goretzka is still there. Kimmich is still there. They've extended pretty much everyone. Gnabry, Sane. I'm still telling you, Sane coming to the Premier League looks very unlikely to me. I think he'll extend with Bayern Munich. आज ही मीटिंग हुई थी. Sometimes in fullbacks like Sasha Bowie, don't they have a good youth setup? जैसे उनके पास आजनू करके player है, really good. Sometimes they get unlucky with injuries. But I think Bayern is sort of nearly there when it comes to like European dominance. But Bundesliga, they're more than good enough, man. More than good enough. They just got Jonathan Tah for centre back, which means probably he's going to replace Kim Min-jae. Eric Dyer's leaving for Monaco. He was a good servant. एक साल के लिए. Ito should be back injury say, so hopefully he's going to do good. But Bayern has this habit of sometimes retaining talent for way too long. Like, let's be honest, as goated as Neuer is, नॉयर ने नूबल का करियर खा लिया, नॉयर ने सॉमर का करियर खा लिया बायन में, एंड अभी चलो उर्बिक आ गया है, बट इफ नॉयर को फिर से नंबर 1 बना दिया देन वो उर्बिक का भी करियर खा जाएगा. ठीक है. अभी जो मिडफील्ड है बायन का, उसमें ठीक है, पाव्लोविच, स्टैनिसिच, ये सब लोग चल जाएंगे इवेंचुअली, बट अभी भी पलीनिया इज दैट. आई एम नॉट सेइंग पलीनिया को वो स्टार्ट देंगे एंड एवरीथिंग, बट इतना मैसिव एलोकेशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज पलीनिया की तरफ हो गया था. किमिक कुड हैव मूव्ड, बट अब किमिक को एक्सटेंड कर दिया. हु एल्स वाज देयर जो आर्सेनल के साथ, किमिक ही लिंक था ना आर्सेनल के साथ भी. हाँ, सो एक्सटेंड कर दिया उसको. मूलर इज फाइनली बीइंग लेट गो. मेरे अगर साने को एक्सटेंड कर दिया, गनाबरी को एक्सटेंड कर दिया, तो वही वाले सारे सीन्स हैं दोस्तों. लाइक दे जेन्युइनली डू वुड लव अ प्लेयर लाइक रॉड्रिगो मैन. दे वुड लव अ प्लेयर लाइक डेजिरे डोए, बट वो नहीं आया. तो काफ़ी सारे जो रिक्रूटमेंट कभी कभी चलती है बायन की, बड़ी अजीब सी चलती है. आई थिंक आई थिंक फ्लोरियन वर्ट्स not going to Bayern is a sign of how other players perceive Bayern ki recruitment and setup. That they feel that they will not be platformed really well. Look, man, for a German player, Bayern Munich is the dream place to go. If you look at the academies or the youth of a lot of these Bayern players, especially the German ones, you will see they come from different Schalkers, Bremens, and wherever. Like Sane is from Schalke and stuff like that, right? Muller was from Bayern, Kimmich was from Bayern, I think. But every German player's dream is to play for Bayern Munich, because it's such a gigantic institution. Whatever, it's like the football equivalent of IIT. Okay, for a German player to say I don't trust you enough, it's a huge thing, man. It's a huge thing. Wirtz has a position clash with Musiala. No, the reason, that's what I'm saying. See, what Wirtz is gonna be a main man at Liverpool, but he's still going to have to fight, right? It's still a midfield. Even if you put him on the left, it's not a smooth sailing. There's Gakpo on the left, there's Diaz on the left. In the midfield, there's McAllister, there's Soboslai, there's Curtis, Graf, ठीक है वो पीछे खेल लेगा थोड़ा सा, whatever. There's still good midfielders in Liverpool as well, right? There's positional clash with somebody at every time. The question was, the reason Wirtz also listened to Bayern Munich was he wanted to see, can Bayern Munich platform me in a way that maximizes me and also helps me play with Musiala. I, for the longest time, believed that Wirtz to Bayern ही जाएगा. But very obviously, he's not been impressed by what they presented to him. So there is something like that. Endo, of course. How can we forget, man? Mafia, Japanese mafia, Endo. I don't think so, man. Don't think they should either, dude. Yeah, in some way they do, but that's Nagelsmann, right? Do you feel Mudrik would have been good player for Arsenal? I agree, dude. I think he would be, man. We were building something special, dude, with Jesus and all that stuff. Same name is Lord. Gravenberch escaped. Who can sign Xavi Simmons? They're quoting 80 million for him, man. And PSG just sold him. So that's one big money team out of it. I have a feeling it can be City. I am really hoping it's Arsenal. We both need it, man. City also need it. We also need it. But if City are going to get Tejani, I don't think they will get him. They already have wingers. So I'm hoping it's us, man. We badly need that interior player like Javi Simmons. ले लो जेम्स ऑली को ये भी नहीं पता कि कौन सा दिन है आज. I have a huge feeling ETH will do a fantastic job. I'm gonna wait and watch Ayan. I ain't that sure right now. United जा सकता है if Bruno is sold. I think yeah, but I think if there are more suitors for Javi Simmons, I don't think United will be at the top of his list. Which club can dish out the money they're asking for him? Every club's fans say they can't. I have a feeling, just like Mbappe, Trent, whatever, Isak will move for free. That's what I feel. Isak will refuse to sign a contract um, if he has to move. I don't think he'll sign a contract, and Newcastle will try to offload him either for cheap or he'll leave for free. If he signs a new contract, he's staying at Newcastle for life. No, MGW ain't coming to us. He's probably going to go to City. I can't imagine Wirtz and Liverpool together. IDK bhai. Don't need to imagine for longer, brother. You're gonna see it soon. Arsenal टट्टी है सस प्रथमेश कोई बात नहीं प्रथमेश भाई. टट्टी हम होंगे बट आपकी गांड क्यों फूल रही है इसमें. आप चिल मारो ना. Apart from Liverpool, who do you think is moving really good this summer? Madrid. I think Real Madrid is moving really, really well. They're doing their business very quietly. They're doing it really fast. Maybe it's because the Club World Cup and what all, but they're doing really, really well, man. I don't know, man. He's going to Porto, right? Gabi Vega. Let's see how he does at Porto. फिर देखते हैं. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Mediocrity हो गई है. God knows why they have a very big obsession for German players. Sane, Gnabry are clearly not Bayern level, but they still get contract with higher wages. The board thing is a huge issue, man. When Brazo, Uli, जब Brazo भी था, Khan भी था, all these guys were there. तभी भी बोर्ड के हो रहे थे issues. अभी Uli is back. जब कार्ल हाइंस भी था तभी भी इश्यूज कह रहे थे. बट आई थिंक टू बी ऑनेस्ट जब से एबर्ल आया थिंग्स हैव इम्प्रूव्ड ड्रास्टिकली. इट्स जस्ट दैट बायर्न सॉर्ट ऑफ मेरे हिसाब से स्ट्रगल्स टू once in a while separate itself from the culture. Like Kane was a great move from Bayern. ठीक है, huge move from Bayern. Olise a great move from Bayern. In theory अगर डुए भी आ जाता perfect move from Bayern. That's a great step into the next evolution of Bayern. But for the longest time, post Lewandowski, कौन था Bayern का striker दोस्तों? Choupo-Moting at one point, I remember saw a game Choupo was playing. But yeah, he's got 3 years left. Yeah, so that's what I feel. I don't think he's leaving anytime soon. Sane sign कर लो free में मिलेगा. I don't mind him for a Saka backup sort of situation, man. Yeah, I think people also need to chill a little bit, man. This is basically clubs sort of front loading their buys before other teams step in, and also for Club World Cup stuff, man. Kolo Muani is a striker, Prathamesh. In your words, I don't really rate him. But what sort of tatty? But no, Kolo Muani again is one of those. He was crazy good at Frankfurt, huh? At PSG, he was okay. I think he's sort of rediscovering his form in Italy. So let's wait for him a little bit. Iniesta for Pep's new assistants. I think it's going to be Fernandinho, somebody from the City Academy, and eventually Gundogan next year. That's what I feel, man. Who do you think City should go for? Both of them. Great signing for Chelsea or Liverpool. Apurv. My take is Laporte is waiting for next summer to bring striker like 100 million statement signing because of election at the end. In the end, he is a politician. I agree, dude. I just don't know who's going to be available next season. Unless you can make a move for Isak next year. Maybe. But I really don't know who else, brother. Samu, maybe. If Samu turns out to be a 100 million striker, maybe. Who else is on the verge of being a 100 million striker, man? Don't really know, dude. Alvarez, tough, dude. Tough. Do you think Pep is responsible for the dearth of those killer number 9s in the last 10 years? I mean, if Delap and Joao Pedro are hyped up, game's gone. No, I just think strikers, वो जो गोटेड स्ट्राइकर्स हम कहते थे, स्वारेस, प्राइम लेवा, फाल्काओ, कवानी, ज़्लाटन, क्रिस्टियानो, ड्रॉगबा, ऑन ऐसे स्ट्राइकर्स अब नहीं आते हैं because a lot more is expected from strikers to do. Like most strikers are inside forwards as well. Only probably Haaland is the out and out striker, I would say, pure out and out striker in this world. Even Kane, for that matter, had to develop a playmaking game. There's a lot that is expected from strikers right now, because if you're going to spend 100 million on somebody, you better hope that he can fill in two positions. The best example for this is Gabriel Jesus. He joined City from Palmeiras, where he was an out and out striker at the age of 19, and he was made to play right wing, he was made to play left wing. He was then eventually dropped as a striker. When he joined Arsenal, he's played cover for Saka, he's also played as number 9, he's also played on the left wing. There's a lot that you need a striker to do, man. So killer number 9s in general, I think the game has evolved in a way that killer number 9s are sort of gone. Even if you look at Gyökeres, he's not a straight line striker, he's more of a channel Henry-ish striker. Henry भी था, लेकिन ऑनरी भी लेफ्ट साइड से अंदर आने की कोशिश करता था, या फिर अगर यूनबर्ग के साथ कंबाइन करना तो देन मे बी राइट, बट मोस्टली ही हैड अ लेफ्ट साइड बायस. ग्योक्रेस आल्सो हैज अ विंग साइड बायस, अ चैनल बायस जिसको हम कहते हैं. सो only Haaland, I think, is the last of Haaland, and funnily Luke De Jong are the last of their kind, man. What time is it there, says Nishcha? It's 7:36, dude, which means I have to end the stream soon because Conference League is about to start soon. Isak also is such a good example of not a pure striker. That's a left winger. Alvarez is a pure example of a cam second striker and an out and out number 9. Griezmann ko dekh lo. Rasmus, okay, Rasmus, fair enough, dude. Rasmus is there. Yeah, Henri to everyone loves Samu. All right, if you say so. Fernandinho rumor is denied by City thrice in the last thing. All right, I thought Fernandinho was going to be there. So, like, there was such a heavy rumor of Fernandinho actually joining up, man. Who knows? Yeah. I agree. GK transfer prediction. I think Joan Garcia ka open race hai. United will sell Onana. I thought they would go for Diogo Costa, but maybe not. Then I thought they'll go for Flecken, but he's also going to Leverkusen. So I don't know, man. I generally don't know who's a keeper for Man United. Chelsea will probably need a new keeper as well. Although I think Sanchez has been pretty good in the last few weeks, dude. Same happening with Marmoush. Exactly. He plays the best he has available. No, but there was this one season, right, where Gundogan was this number 9, na? Sesko is not a pure number 9. What's his name? Scouted Eagle? I think there's a YouTube channel called Scouting Eagle. Check his Sesko video. In that, he shows that Sesko drops back, combines. He can be an out and out number 9, but in that two striker system, he's the one who drops in, man. Jesus needs to be out of my club. He is earning bags casually. Why is everyone blaming Pep for everything? He is the most transformative manager in the last half. Post Sachi, post Cruyff, I think he's been the most transformative manager, man. So everything good in football and everything bad in football will be because of him. Bayern to Atleti is a good signing, Anj bhai. Good signing. अच्छा इंटीरियर प्लेयर है, प्ले मेकिंग है, एंड विंग पे भी खेल लेता है. एटलेटिको, yeah, they need that wing presence, dude. Yeah, I'm also very shocked, dude. I'm also very shocked, and I think अब in fact रेतेगी पे और भी eyeballs जाने चाहिए, considering कि Gasperini is leaving Atalanta, dude. So let's see who's the new manager who comes in for Atalanta, whether it's Morta or whoever. What they decide to do with Retegi, if they say कि ठीक है नहीं need a different kind of striker, so not Retegi. So let's see, maybe Retegi is available then. Kubudu Arsenal, good dream, no, won't happen though, man. Aubameyang भी लेफ्ट विंगर बन गया था भाई by the end of it, man. Aubameyang actually हमेशा से एक मिक्स स्ट्राइकर था. Darwin भी लेफ्ट साइडेड बायस है, I agree. Bayern there, we'll see. Zion Suzuki के links आ रहे हैं, okay. Sells is a good shot stopper, man, but I don't think that's what Amorim wants. कब से अगर रिप्लाई नहीं आया, थोड़ा सा रेज बेट किया. अरे कोई बात नहीं भाई, मुझे क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है, आप ही लिख रहे हो. मेरे को क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है. Arsenal needs an out and out striker. There are no out and out strikers, no? That's the point, dost. Gyökeres, Sesko, neither of them are out and out. Sesko and Gyökeres is the better gunman, जिसको हम कहते हैं, you know, like Aubameyang types, गोली मारता है बस. But it's biggest question is his translation, dude. इस एज पे कैसे ट्रांसलेट करेगा, कितना कोचेबल है या नहीं. Gakpo ka departure is possible if the right offer comes in. Okay, that's interesting. Who will Gakpo go to? Don't think is gonna go move to the Prem. Liverpool will fleece that club. Abroad it can be Bayern. Yeah, I don't think anyone else can afford him. Barca would be really good for Gakpo, by the way. Barca would be really, really good for Gakpo. But they already have a similar-ish profile in Ferran, man, to be honest. Should have gone for Baina, should have, but I think decide हो गया था Atleti जाएगा. Lookman का future भगवान जाने. Sorloth will stay at Atleti, man. Yeah. Regardless हो गया. Z भाई कैसे हो? All good, brother, all good. At least Leva is pure 9, bro. Yeah. Again, but ये uncles को ही आपको देखना पड़ता है ना, sort of कि like ये लोग हैं. Rate Trent acting. I don't think he was acting, man. I think he's genuinely sad, dude. Don't need to sell, but won't turn down. 100%, man. 100%. I mean, like now Liverpool have to sell a lot as well, right? To balance the books, because the players are gonna get. Wirtz is gonna be on a higher wage, but Kerkez is gonna be a nice reset on wages. Frimpong is gonna be a nice reset on the Trent wages. They will have few high-paid players in Salah, Van Dijk, Florian Wirtz, and I think Gakpo and Diaz, they can sell for money, dude. All right, those. This is the year of the shark. That's fantastic, man. We have Vitek at our academy. He is sure better than Onana. I don't know, man. See, youth level and senior football is a huge step up, man. Like you've seen yourself, right? How Chido Obi dominates youth football because of his physically imposing style. He's taller, he's stronger, he's faster than kids his age. That's the reality. Playing against top quality opposition at the senior level is a different ball game altogether. Now, I'm not saying your keeper ऐसी वाली बात है, but there's a difference, man. Yeah, dude. Nick Pope available? I don't know. Nick Pope can be the backup. Dubravka is gone, if you guys remember. So we'll see, man. I think they'll sell Vlachodimos maybe. We'll see what happens. Best position as a team for next year among top 6 in the PL. वैसे top 6 रहा भी नहीं है अब, but still. Early predictions, if teams buy exactly the things that they want, I would say Liverpool are in the strongest position. I think City will be second. I have a very sneaky feeling Chelsea make a huge jump next season. I have a very sneaky feeling. I don't know who's going to be third, Arsenal or Chelsea. I think Arsenal have effed it up last year. We are one window behind, which is why I think we will suffer. So let's see, man. I think in general, the mood around Arsenal and Arsenal fans right now is super pessimistic. There is no respite, and it's kind of strange as well. I think the sort of writing is on the wall for Arteta. If I'm being frank with you guys for a minute, I think the writing is on the wall. And I don't even think it's because of the pressure from the board or the pressure from the fans. I think एक point पे chat, especially if you're a Premier League fan, you would be familiar with this phenomenon. I think the media sort of already decides your fate, and it's now up to you to escape that fate. Escape the fate. Great band, by the way. I think if you remember Pep's first season when he didn't win a trophy, he came third, I think. The media was on fire. Oh, Pep, this is why this is the Premier League. He thought he'll have it easy, yes, sab, and then Pep eventually smashed that expectation. I think at one point, Ole ki fate was sealed when the media completely turned against him. I think the same happened with Tenhag. I think the same happened with Lampard at Chelsea first time. I think the same happened with Spurs, which is why even after winning the Europa League, there are still murmurs of him actually being there. And the media executes a very sinister sort of campaign against you. Like before the Europa League finals, the media was like, Ange loses it, says, I'm not a clown. But then you actually read into the context of it, it's like this. And I think media is also pretty much sealed Arteta's fate as well. I don't think anything Arteta says right now will ever get him any sort of grace. And I think the biggest example of this was the a journalist asking him, "Do you think Tottenham have had a better season than Arsenal?" Now think about it for a second, without going into what he said. Um, he can answer, yes, Tottenham have had a better season than Arsenal, in which case, congratulations, you've just lost half your fan base. Or he can say, no, Tottenham have not had a better season than Arsenal, in which case, it becomes a news cycle item on Sky Sports and all that stuff for the next week. So he takes the diplomatic thing and says, I don't like to compare with the other teams. But even then the entire thing comes, but you just compared with PSG, you just compared with Liverpool. Um, so that I think, no matter what he says now, it's done. Somebody asked him very pointedly, ki, you've come second 3 years in a row, how do you maintain motivation in yourself, how do you maintain motivation in the group? And he gave a nice answer into, like, what it is about the journey, about the group, how do you keep motivation. And he says, when I think about the next season, I get goosebumps. So the media clips that part out. When I think about the next season, I get goosebumps. Then he's termed as deluded. So I think at some point of time, the media has pretty much decided your fate, that no matter what you say, it's done by, it's kind of done for him. So I think it's yeah, exactly this one. um the ball wala thing is a very very big quote. The over my dead body wala thing is such a miscontextualized quote. Somebody asked him, will you now give up on the Premier League? This was 12 weeks remaining in the end of the season, and somebody said, will you give up on the Premier League 12 weeks before the season ends? He can say, yes, I will give up on the Premier League, which, come on. Or he can say, no. And he said, no, over my dead body, I'll never give up on the Premier League until it's completely out of our hands. Over my dead body gets clipped out. So I think the media has decided he's gonna go. He's gonna go off. And his situation will made to be sure, made to be seen more and more untenable. वो ज़्यादा unhinged दिखेगा. उसके कोट्स ऐसे दिखाए जाएंगे, ये मैनेजर तो deluded है. And this happened with Tenhag really, really badly, by the way. Right? If you remember, in all of your criticisms of Tenhag and all of my criticisms of Tenhag, you start off thinking, this guy's deluded, man. When Tenhag says, no, we created this, we created that, I think in moments we were the better team, Tenhag believes Manchester United was the better team. So I think all of these things do play a part. And I think with Neville, Carragher, all of these things, Henry ki statement aaj jo thi, which I don't think, um, you know, was completely, I don't think it was bad statement from Henry, but the way it's going to be portrayed, Henry questions Arteta's growth, Henry questions Arsenal's credentials. It's just done. You're creating further and further divide. I know Macwell. I watched his video today also. Let's Laugh at Arsenal. It was a fantastic video, man. I love Macwell. So I think the media has sort of decided your fate, and it is up to you to completely. Slot escapes it. In the first go, Slot escapes it. Slot पे अब कुछ media नहीं बोलेगी. The biggest manager I think in the crosshairs right now is Arteta. Then I think it'll be Amorim, and then I think it'll be Maresca. A good example of this is when Chelsea was struggling. पहले बात तो प्री सीजन में, do you remember that graph of Chelsea players? You don't see those graphs anymore. ठीक है? When Chelsea was in the title race, all of that stuff, Carragher saying that, Chelsea need to stop buying players. And then when they started tumbling a little bit down, 6th, 7th पे वापस आ गए थे, those things started again. But now they finished in the top four and it's all gone. And if they win the Conference League, it's all gone again. And then the Chelsea model will eventually be hailed. That's it. That's how it's going to be. The media has already usually decided your fate, and it's up to you to prove it wrong. If Ange does, 100%, 100%. The difference between Ange I usually win things in my second season being a cold quote and being a delusional quote is just one win. That is how the media will decide your fate. And I think that's going to happen with Arteta as well. I think he is pretty much done. As much as I would want him to stay, I think he's done. I think his position is untenable, and it's going to be almost impossible to win the league versus Liverpool next season. That's what I feel, man. So you can come second, and the same media, by the way, if a next manager comes in and we start performing worse than Arteta, we'll make the same comparisons with Arteta. So yeah, it is what it is, dosto. It is what it is. What do you think, City rebuild? Last question, and then we head out, chat. And will they have a chance to win the league next season, or will it be between Arsenal? I think Liverpool first, and I think City second. I think refresh हो रहा है City में, and I think you will be pleasantly surprised to see how well City do, especially with the return of Rodri. Especially with the return of Rodri, I think City will do really really well. I think Pep ने last few games में बीच में Pep lost his sort of way, but I think in the last few games he's regained it all, man. That's it. Um, yeah. That's the thing. What do you mean by Arteta is done? This is complete pessimistic statement. I think no matter no until we win the big prize, which is the Champions League or the Premier League, I think the narrative in the media for him is already set. He is a deluded, unlikable, unhinged manager. Um, and I think that is the image that he has been portrayed as. And no matter how much he tries to get his or talk his way out of it, and I'm not saying that it's he's always flawless and stuff, but I think no matter what he says, even to the most innocuous questions, he's going to be portrayed as a loser, which is what Ange was going through until he won the Europa League. That's what I feel. But care, that is something else. We'll talk about it. But yeah, Zubimendi to Arsenal, great transfer. I'm happy about it, but it should be just the first step. उसके बाद देखते क्या होता है. कॉन्फ्रेंस लीग शुरू होने वाला है. आई एम श्योर बाबा एंड अंकित भाई and some other people might be also be doing the Europa League watch along. Sorry, Conference League watch along. So enjoy that. Go there. Also, I said in the beginning, subscribe to Chaos Club as well, man. Great new initiative. Nice bunch of 5 people have come up. Mohak, Muktesh, Divyansh, Yash and Chonki. Doing something fresh. Give them the support. And yeah, enjoy dosto. Enjoy your night. See you all tomorrow, hopefully. See you all tomorrow. Chalo. Thank you so much for joining. Good night. Bye-bye.